तो ऐसे वैसे ख्वाब देखे हैं कि हम दो आस पास सांस थमे और रात साथ बात करे क्यों ना रह लो ना अब तो आए जा हमको ले जाए जा 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 दिल की धड़कन से तो आए जाना हमारे सब के हो जाए आना इस तार द्वारे तो कैसे सोए जाना इस तार द्वारे लो लोरी सुनाना दिल की धड़कन से तो आए जाना हमरे सब के हो जाए आना कभी कभी तो हमसे घबराना सभी को तुम ही समझाना अभी तो हमने ही जाना तू कायना 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 लोरी सुनाना दिल की धड़कन से तो आए जाना हमारे सब के हो जाए आना इस तार द्वारे तो कैसे सोए जाना इस तार द्वारे लोरी सुनाना लोरी सुनाना लोरी सुनाना
is one whose day begins when your day ends. The one who stays behind the mask. The one who takes your troubles away. On March 4th, two real heroes meet. Dark Fantasy, the superhero of biscuits, celebrates The Batman, only in cinemas.
ये वाला तो ढीला है।
ठंडी हवा थी जो आई, संभालो हमको, कभी न जाए सहलाए, संभालो हमको, सभी से आगे जाए, हम ही हैं उनके प्यारे, सभी से आगे जाए। ठंडी हवा, हम ही तो है तुम्हारे खास, तभी तो है तुम्हारे पास, ना छोड़ो कभी हमारा साथ, कभी ना कभी तो नजर आ। तेरे नाम, 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 तेरे नाम। सर्दी जब आए कप कप आए, संभालो हमको, जमीन पर लाके हमें दबाए, संभालो हमको, सभी से प्यार चाहे, तुम्हीं से सबके राहे, सभी से प्यार चाहे। ठंडी हवा, हम ही तो है तुम्हारे खास, तभी तो है तुम्हारे पास, ना छोड़ो कभी हमारा साथ, कभी ना कभी तो नजर आ। तेरे नाम, तेरे नाम, तेरे नाम।
Good evening to everyone present here. Hope you all are doing fine. I'm Tanvi Khasgiwal along with Dishant Tisrani, and we will be the hosts for today. Now moving forward, CSR is Thadomal Shahani Engineering College's Mumbai student chapter. Every year, CSR TSEC conducts student activities including workshops, seminars, conferences, technical computer competitions, training programs, and industrial visits. Today, we all have gathered here in order to gain amazing experience from our TSEC current BE batch for the academic year 21-22, who have received commendable off-campus placements. I welcome all our speakers and request them to share their experiences with our audience. So moving forward, first in line, we have Ms. Kashita Talreja from the computer department who has been placed at Amazon. I invite Ms. Kashita to please enlighten everyone with her journey.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Tanvi, for the really kind and precise introduction. So I'm just going to go over my journey quickly, and then I just want to open the floor to questions because that way, like, the audience will actually get answers to what they want. So I actually wasn't into coding at all before the lockdown. I got into coding right when the lockdown started just because a lot of time on hand. And I started with the basics of C and C++ because I was trust me, I was really bad at coding. I didn't want to pursue coding as a career. Before that, I was planning on a completely different career path before. So I started with Code Forces, competitive programming on Code Forces, which friends in college did help me with, especially out here, Pratik, he did help me quite a lot with that. So I started off with competitive programming, and I am a bit biased towards that as compared to development as a whole. So after that, after I got a bit more familiar with the Code Forces and the entire platform, I did secure an internship with Deutsche Bank, and a couple of you all even on call today might be a part of the intern program. After that, I did secure PPO with them as well, and I was actually very lax after getting an offer, but Amazon was holding a drive, so I applied to their WOW program, which is only for women, followed by a regular off-campus drive. After which I was rejected in the WOW program, and after which I gave about 3 interviews, which was an online test plus 3 interviews. After which my process was complete for Amazon. So I just want like if people can just unmute and ask me a couple of questions specific to my journey, or anything you would want to know, I think that would make the seminar more structured and clear. Any questions?
Guys, if you have any question, you can just drop in a chat to Kevin. He'll let us know about the questions.
So Dishan, there are a few questions which were circulated. Should I go through that document itself?
Yeah, you can go through that.
Okay, just give me a sec. Okay, so a few questions which you all had put in were, so the complete flow of the process. So essentially, the first would be applying, of course, to these off-campus opportunities. You can be well aware of them through LinkedIn. This is where I came to know of off-campus offers, off-campus drives. So LinkedIn's a good place to be well connected with people who are working in your dream companies. Be aware of what's going on, what companies are doing. Right now, honestly, everyone's on a big hiring spree, be it any of the tech companies, because of course the changes which are going on right now. So you need to be well aware of that through LinkedIn. People also use Twitter. There are many groups on Telegram and WhatsApp which do circulate these off-campus drive links, etc. But for me, it was mainly LinkedIn. So that is answering the first question, which was any good sites to know of these companies' off-placement drives. Off-campus drive, sorry. The flow of the process would be an online assessment, which is essentially where competitive programming comes into play. And you also sometimes have a few CS fundamental questions. You do have a couple of logic questions, aptitude. It depends company to company. However, the coding part of it, which would probably be 2 or 3 questions, is constant throughout most coding, like most online assessments. The other question on my list is, if one is going for masters abroad, should they try for off-campus placements for a backup? I don't know the technicalities of this with regards to college, if you're allowed to do so, but I was going to go for my masters, but obviously because of the lockdown, my career path completely changed, and which is when I started coding, and then I went ahead for off-campus placements. How many rounds are there in total for off-campus rounds? So it varies from company to company. Amazon had 1 online assessment followed by 3 interview rounds. You usually have around 2 technical rounds, 1 technical and HR round, and the last one is usually an HR round with probably a hiring manager. Resources used to prepare. So I think there are essentially 2 to 3 verticals. One would be competitive programming for online assessments. So you can use Code Forces for that, CodeChef. I mainly use Code Forces to practice competitive programming. DSA is entirely LeetCode and GFG. There are various lists put out by different YouTubers and people working in these companies, which can help you give structure to your learning process. But apart from that, it's pretty much the same thing which everyone talks about in terms of DSA. I prepared for essentially CS fundamentals. So I have a question saying, what all did I prepare for? So that's CS fundamentals and DSA. CS fundamentals, you can use different sites like Java, T-Point, GFG. That's more than enough. It also depends on which company you're applying to. Some of them are more interested in CS fundamentals like DShaw. So you need to prepare company-wise. Sometimes you need company-specific, preparation. Yeah, so this is pretty much what's on my list. I think I've covered a fair bit. Anyone else has any questions? I'll just check the chat box.
There's one question for you, like
Yeah.
which side should we more focus on? Should it be CP or should it be dev?
So everyone has a very different approach. There are people out there who have secured great internships and full-time offers only through open source. However, the journey I took was that of competitive programming. And I think the discussion whether that's the correct way or not is something very open-ended. Everyone has a very different approach towards it. Some people say that why are we being tested on DSA when we eventually have to go ahead and build something? There are various, what my opinion on this topic is, development can be done, you can figure your way out, but CP is something which builds logic, which not only helps you in solving your questions which are given in an online assessment, it helps you think. So you should approach it from the point of view that it's going to help me think, it's going to make my brain work. So that is pretty much answering your question.
So the second question we have is, do we need to take paid courses to learn DSA and do competitive programming, or self-learning is suffice?
I personally self-learned. I have taken a couple of courses which I got through some links, some free courses. They are essentially paid, but I got them for free. The point is I haven't finished one course. I haven't even finished one course. So be it a development course on Udemy, be it a Amazon Cracker course on GFG, I've not finished anything. So you don't need those courses. There are a few links I'd like to share. I'm sure many of you all have come across the 450 DSA question sheet. So that's pretty popular amongst people preparing for placements in our industry. So I can share that with one of you all, with Kevin or anyone from the team. You all can give that, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this. I have a few questions which are sent to me directly. Should I go through them quickly?
Yeah, you can cover them up.
Okay, so firstly, I'm in my I don't know. Okay, so this is, should I call out the person, or how do you want me to do this?
Anything works. You can just take the name as well.
So this question's from Roshni. She is in her second year and she doesn't know much of coding in CP. Can I still get time to work on it? Definitely 100%. I started in towards the end of Sem 4. So y'all can, according to where y'all are at right now, y'all can figure. I mean, you can start. It's never too late to start, even if you don't secure an amazing placement right after college. Your world's not going to end. You have time. You can always switch. So don't shut that door. Don't think you're not, like, if you don't get it right after college, you're not going to have FOMO if your friends are getting it. You're going to get it in time. So just keep at it, and it's never too late. So so this question is from Abhishek Shirke. When did you start CP? I started CP at the end of my 4th semester. I used C++. So I started with C because I didn't know C as well when I started coding. I went on to C++, and that's what I essentially use right now. That's the language I'm most comfortable with. There is a question from Hiten. How did I apply with a referral or through the company side? Amazon was through the company side itself. I didn't get a referral for that. I didn't apply for a referral rather. There are a few other companies which I applied to. Ongoing processes are there. Some I've been rejected from. I did get a couple of referrals from them, but you just have to approach people on LinkedIn, people who work at that XYZ company, and just like broadcast a message. Basically, whoever replies to you, you follow up with them saying you need a referral. Of course, be really polite in doing so. Don't expect them to do something because they have to do it for you. They do have something to gain from it, but of course, be polite with how you're asking for anything. How much more time do I have?
Like, you can take a few more questions, like 1 or 2 questions.
Just stop me once I'm out of time. Thank you. Tips for getting internships. For my internships, I only have one internship on my resume, which is through college itself, which is the Deutsche Bank internship. So tips for getting that, I I just started off with CP, so I was in the flow of that. I need to get back to it because it's been a while since I have, been consistent with that. And something like CP is you basically need to be in the flow of things to get things right. So talking about flow, Aryan's a great example of it. 1 year of flow. So that's that. My Codeforce's username, I will send that over to Dishant or Kevin.
Kashida, your time is actually up.
Okay,
So,
great. I'm sorry if I took too much time, but
no.
yeah, I hope I covered some things which y'all had doubts about. But anything, if there's anything, y'all can just share my number. I'll be happy to help anyone. So looking forward to more sessions like these if y'all require. And yeah, happy to help.
Thank you so much, Kashita. We are sure that everyone would have been
Great.
uh, very they were very insightful words for us.
Great.
So now we would like to call upon Saili Salgaonkar from IT department, who was placed at Myntra, and I would like to invite Saili to please enlighten everyone with her journey.
Okay, just a quick interruption. I will be dropping off the call right now. I have something to get to. So anything I can be reached out on my number. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Yeah. So hi guys. So how I started with my like how I got to know about Myntra, and it was like there was a hackathon on Dare to Compete. So Anushka told us like we can collaborate in this hackathon, and then we started with this hackathon, like choosing the theme, then working on the project, and then finally winning the hackathon. And then we got to know that there's a internship interview. So after clearing those interviews, there were 3 rounds. There were 16 interns who were selected, and then we were given individual projects. So depending upon how you are handling the project, and whether you are able to complete the whole project in a given timeline, and then the offer was given directly. So yeah, there were 2 interviews after the internship as well. So depending upon how you perform in your internship period and how you performed in your interviews, we got the pre-placement offer. So yeah, that's like a short introduction, like how I got this opportunity and how I prepared. I would say it is lead code and HackerRank is something but basic, like how we start. Then lead code and then there's Geeks for Gigs. Then I would say I did some if some of you might have known Love Bubber DSA sheet. So yeah, so I saw that. So that actually helped me to like clear the interviews. And then how I got to know about like other off-campus opportunities, I would say it is LinkedIn, and secondly it is Dare to Compete, and third one is Arj Goel. Arj Goel is software engineer at Samsung. So he definitely posts like what are the off-campus opportunities or hackathons or internships which are going on. So you can definitely follow him on LinkedIn, or even you can subscribe his channel to get updates about this information. So yeah. So we'll start with some queries like which you have. So so the first question is, what extra preparations are required for off-campus interviews? So my answer will be that it is somewhat very similar to on-campus like interview, like doing projects and internships will definitely help you to get off-campus, like clearing the off-campus interviews. But the most important part will be that knowing a particular hackathon or maybe a particular event is actually occurring in a particular period of time. So for that, you should be updated, like whichever hackathons are appearing or whichever events are going on. So the next question is, how much project matters? Project definitely will play a vital role in clearing the interviews. The reason is because when it comes to off-campus interviews, your interview will be somewhat of 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. So it will be quite obvious that the 30 minutes or 20 minutes will be only on project discussion. But yeah, the majority of the chunk of the interview will be on the coding questions. So in that 30 minutes or maybe 15 minutes, you should have something to speak on. So you should have the projects which you have built on your own. It might be something, it might be the hackathon projects or something like that, which will help you to clear those interviews. Then I will also suggest that don't work on many projects. For example, if a person is having 9 projects on a resume, it won't be that useful because the interviewer will only consider the 2 projects, or he will only ask you about the 2 projects or the main projects. This is something what I have seen in the interviews. So only prepare for 3 projects, that is quite sufficient for you. And just no this project should be deployed somewhere, so that you can actually or maybe you can even share the screen during the interview to show how it works and everything. So would like to know what is really important for off-campus placement. So what is important is, I will say, for clearing, you will definitely need coding practice. Like CPU will be the most important thing. Secondly, the like off-campus opportunities, like there will be 2 types, I will say. One will be the one in which internship is required, and then depending upon your internship performance, you will be getting the PPO. Whereas the other will be somewhat something in which only your coding interviews will be considered, and depending upon that you will get the offer. So in case of the first one, you should know about which are the technologies, or you are comfortable with the particular technologies, and you should build projects on such technologies in which you are comfortable with, which can definitely help you to build the skills. Okay, so what should I focus on when applying off campus? So, off campus opportunities, I will say majority are for the SD roles. So, yeah, that's. I mean, I think majority of you might be interested in SD roles. So that's something what, and other things are quite similar, like coding and then projects, internships. So the next question, how to boost CV and improve your resume. So the first thing is resume should be one page. There should be, if you have done internships, it will be really great. It will definitely stand out. And then secondly, having 2, 3 projects listed, and then having your curricular activities which can be added. What I have seen is majority of people who are applying for off-campus, or maybe who wants to who are applying for off-campus role for SD or something like that, which needs a technical background. I will say try to have a 60 to 40% ka ratio in your projects, internships, and your co-curricular activities. It should not happen that in your resume you are listing much more about co-curricular activities instead of highlighting the points of your projects or internships. So that's something what you should take into consideration, and obviously the one-page resume. And also the links of your projects should be added in your resume, so that it is quite feasible to check those no projects and to actually get insights of that project. So the next question, want to know how they react to difficult situations. So I didn't understand what does they means. Is that the interviewer or yeah, but there are no such difficult situations, I will say, because like there is no something they won't ask you like what will be the no how much CTC you required or something like that. So there won't be any kind of such questions. But I will say maybe there are some questions in which you are not much more comfortable. Maybe you were asked you about cloud computing or something like that, and or blockchain, and you are not aware about it. Just say that sorry, I'm not aware about this, but I have more skills on so and so technology, and that will definitely help you to change the path of the whichever the interview process is going on. And then how to approach for off-campus opportunities. So that I've already covered. It's dare to compete. Then referrals might work. The third thing is as you go in, and obviously fourth is being around people who knows about particular off-campus opportunities, and also being a source of that information. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Any more questions?
Hi, Saili. I'd like to ask you a question. So initially you mentioned that when you were doing the internship, so you had to work on a project. So could you elaborate like what kind of project did you exactly work on with during your internship?
So the internship, like during my internship, some interns were given a group project, whereas some were given a individual project, depending upon in which month they were joining. So I was given an individual project. Now this individual project was something which was assigned directly. I didn't get a chance to choose the project. So my project involved working on technologies, which was Mon and Python. Mon was quite new for me, but yeah, I was working with Python, so that was quite comfortable. And then it was a more I was told to create a tool which can, it would be quite elaborative if I start talking, but it was something related to man in the middle attack and working with Mon and Python. So yeah, that's all. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Siley, I'll have to stop you. Then we continue.
Thank you so much, Siley, for your wise words. This might really help everyone. We'll take the questions at the end. So moving on, next we have Ms. Shagun Lamba from the computer department who has been placed at Amazon. I invite Ms. Shagun to please enlighten everyone with her journey.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. I'm Shagun, and yeah, I'll be going through my experience. So, so let's just begin. So I joined Code Cell committee during my second year, and it was during this committee's tenure that I learned about something known as competitive programming. Yeah, so I started practicing it, and the few resources that I followed were Code Forces and Code Chef. Hello, am I not audible?
You're audible.
No, you're completely audible.
Okay. Yeah. So so the few resources that I followed were Code Forces and Code Chef, but I realized that my data structures and algorithms part was not strong enough. So I went back and focused more on my basics. I already knew C++ from 12th standard. So I practiced on GFG, Lead Code, and Interview Bit. So these are few websites which also have proper editorials. I mean, they already have a lot of concepts explained. So you can see the implementation of all the data structures and then go back and practice questions on them. Next thing I focused was on, so I took part in a hackathon where I also realized the importance of frameworks. So I took up an unpaid internship. Now I could not get any internship through college, also because there was not many opportunities in college, and off-campus internship opportunities are very difficult to crack, I believe. And at that point, I was not well prepared. So I did an unpaid internship from Internshala, and I worked on various projects which involved React and Next.js. I also did an internship in React Native. So by doing this, I think my background in JavaScript got really strong, and hence I was comfortable in it. And these were the only things and projects that I put in my resume. So other projects also that I had done, they were also based on JavaScript. And so I only put those things in my resume which I was confident about. I also knew ML, but then I was not very sure about a lot of topics. So I put only the things that I was confident about. Yeah. So next, before Amazon, I was placed into JP Morgan. So I prepared for JP Morgan, and there was this hackathon, Code for Good. You guys must be aware about it. And it was only through this internship as well as development experience I was able to crack it. I feel development is also very important compared to competitive programming. And next, okay, I'll go to my Amazon experience. So for Amazon experience, I had also applied through the WOW program, and there were 5 rounds in total for me. The first 2 were coding test, and the first coding test was on the Metal platform, where the questions were based on computer fundamentals, aptitude, debugging, and there were around 9 sections in 60 minutes, and only one coding question was there, but there were a lot of MCQs and fundamentals. Then the next round was also again a coding test, which had 4 sections. The first section was about getting the errors in the code. Second section was the coding part, where there were 2 questions. Third part was aptitude, and fourth part was a work style assessment. Then I had 3 coding rounds, and although I got so one thing about off-campus opportunities are that this is a very long process. Although I had cleared the test in August itself, my interview was in the month of November. So it took a lot of patience as well to really wait if the process is even going to happen, because I was not sure if my candidature will be moved ahead or if it's happening or not happening. So all of that. So I had my first round on November around 16. Then I had my second round on November 19. And then I did not hear them back for about 25 days. So I thought, ठीक है, नहीं हुआ है, कोई नहीं. So I had third round in December, and third round was easy. HR tha, HR plus one coding question. Third round was just to see how if the candidate is good or not. And first two rounds were more difficult in my opinion. So yeah, so this was my journey, and now I'll focus on those questions which were given to me. So what topics and techniques to focus from now on to prepare for campus placement? Okay, so yeah, I think in my opinion campus placements are very important as well. Although I have cracked an off campus placement, but I would not say ki on campus placement offers are not good or you should not focus on them. I think you must focus on them. They are a really, really good opportunities, and you also learn through these processes. And one good thing about our colleges, हमारे पहले ही हो जाते हैं placement और season के काफी सारी companies पहले ही आ जाती है. So you guys have a lot of time बाद में जाके. You can focus on off campus as well, but having an offer in hand is also, it gives you a relief. You have one offer, so you can focus on something else. Then competitive coding or projects, what benefits more in cracking interviews? Both of them are equally important. I do not have a bias towards either of them. So yeah, as per your priority, what should be given to problem solving or development skills? Both of them. Competitive programming, as Kashita mentioned, you develop logic, and development skills, you really get to know about frameworks and how to work. So both of them are equally important. Internships and projects, both of them benefit during in cracking interviews. And I had done only one internship by the time of placement season, and that was also unpaid internship. But I think एक internship से you learn and you gain experience about how to solve real life problems. Projects maybe you get to learn how to solve a problem, but then internship mein you know how to do the proper jugaad while working on any project. So yeah, how to make ourselves adaptable to learn new technologies. Okay. Documentation, I think following documentation on YouTube or YouTube videos or Stack Overflow, these are great resources. I also want to mention this YouTube channel, the Cherno. It has really good C++. So if there's someone who is not comfortable who's not comfortable in any coding language and wants to start from scratch, so you can go and watch this playlist of C++ on the Cherno YouTube channel. It's a great platform. And then how to get referrals from big companies. So I think this has already been answered by Kashita. And one thing about referrals is whenever you put a message, also don't forget to put the job ID about the the job that you're applying for. Don't forget to mention that particular job ID. It's mentioned right below the opportunity where you're applying. And I think, yeah, so these were the questions. And if there are any more questions, you can please go ahead and ask me.
There's one question for you. Like, can you share your JP Morgan internship process?
Okay, so I had not done an internship in JP Morgan. I had applied for their full-time offer. The first round was the coding test, which had 2 questions. There was another round, which was clubbed with first round, and which had 2 HR-based questions. And this was done on HireVue platform. And then after after getting through these 2 rounds, I took part in CFG, where there was a one-day hackathon organized, and you had to work in a team, 7 different people from all around the country working on a big project. And you have to also show them that you are, really good and you're hardworking in a team. So you do not have to be I would feel you don't have to be the brainiest or the smartest person, but you should be street smart, I feel. I mean, yeah, that's also important during a hackathon and in opportunities like these. Yeah, so I have a few questions which have been sent to me direct on the chat. I'll answer that. Which YouTube channel you follow for basic? So yeah, as I already mentioned, I did the Cherno. Although I knew C++, but that guy explains concepts really well. And then whenever I would have any doubt in an algorithm or something that I was not getting my head clear, so I would just go and see any YouTube, the one which had most likes or most views. I would go and see that particular video. And then also you can take up courses if you want to, but then there are many resources online available for free, which you can learn from. GFG, I'm a big GFG fan because it really clears your basics. And then you can move ahead and go to Code Forces and CodeChef if you like to. Then does Stack Overflow contribution help in development placements? Yeah, definitely. Stack Overflow is a great platform. There are already many developers who have been through the same bugs and same problems. So you can refer to that. And another question is solving DSA and algorithm on lead code or GFG enough, or necessitating in contest is also a necessity. Participating in contests is also a necessity for product-based companies. Yeah, I think both of them are equally important, because what happens is when you take part in a contest, you are sitting there for 3 hours and answering questions. So that gives you a feel about how the real, how the real coding test would be like. So that's also a good experience. Are 5 to 6 months of regular CP practice enough for a good placement? Yeah, 5 to 6 months is quite a lot of time. So even if you start today, I think if it's month of March, so you do have 3 months. In 3 months, you can study, and with regular, consistent hard work, you can learn a lot. CGPA matters in off campus. No, CGPA does not matter in off campus. I think anything above 8 is the same for them. Another question was, are referrals important? Referrals are important, but I did not apply through a referral in the WOW program. It was already a diversity hiring program, so I don't think referral was important there. And yeah, so these are all the questions that have been sent to me. And if I've missed on anything, please, you can reach out to me on my number. I'm happy to help. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shagun, for your insightful words. And now we'll move on to Miss Anushka Bhakchandani from IT department. I'd like to invite Miss Anushka to please enlighten everyone with her journey.
Okay, hi. I hope I'm audible clearly. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I think everybody's journey is very different from each other, but still we come to a conclusion and speak in such a way that it might seem to be a very structured and a very similar path, but it is not like that. So I'll tell you my journey in a very candid way. So before I was not at all into development. I was more into extracurricular, but I like coding. So I was kind of strong with DSA basics because I kind of paid attention in the class whenever I attended. So that helped. And when the lockdown started, I knew that this is my time so that I can revamp myself how much ever I can. Whatever has happened now, that is in the past. For now, what I can do is look up for opportunities and see what I can do for myself now. So I used to look at my peers doing great in development and doing, I don't know what, GitHub. I did not even know GitHub. What is that? So I started talking to my peers who knew development and who were good at competitive coding and DSA. I learned how to get started from them. And then I started on a regular basis by applying to at least 10 to 20 internships every day on Internshala or LinkedIn or whatever platform. I used to get rejected in at least 9 of them every day. And with that, I got used to rejections. And that is how I think I became a little strong. I'm not even kidding. This really helps. I'm not strong even now. Even if I get rejection now, I know how much it will affect me. But that used to happen consistently every day. So I was used to the process. And so after that, I started solving lead code. And when I opened the first question, I thought, ये क्या, मेरे को तो कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, ऐसे होगा तो मेरे को तो कुछ भी नहीं आने वाला, कुछ नहीं होगा मेरा. Then I went back again to people who knew DSA and CP, like Pratik, Aryan, and everybody. They, they are my peers, obviously, but they know something better than you do, always. So go to your peers who you know कि ये help करेंगे. So I went to them. Aryan is my huge motivator. He used to do CP every day and DS every day. So that used to motivate me looking at him. So, that helped in my journey. And Pratik used to help me with how to solve and how to approach this question. Even if I was stuck on anything, he used to help me solving it or anything. But even then, फिर भी लगता था कि कितनी बार पूछूं यार, खुद से भी तो आना चाहिए. So then I started watching YouTube videos on the sums that I wanted to solve. So I came across Striver. So Striver is I think is a great YouTuber. He motivates and creates a very good content. He also has a list which I followed and which I still follow before all of my interviews. And I try to solve as many problems as I can, but I've never solved all the problems which are listed there. I've never completed any list or any courses start to end. So I start something and then I reach till the middle and ये तो अब मुझसे नहीं हो रहा, आप कुछ और करते हैं. So that is what I've done. I don't recommend this, but I'm just telling you what has happened candidly. So when you're solving lead code, you have solved a question once doesn't mean you know the question. Or you will know how to solve the question always. So you have to go back to the problem again after, let's say, 7 days, 12 days, and see ये मेरे को वापस से आ रहा है कि नहीं, because this was asked in a Google interview or an Amazon interview. So the practice of solving 7 to 10 questions every day and going back to the previously solved question helped me, and getting rejected by all of these also helped me. And through the process, I got to know that Deutsche Bank only takes people who has 7.5 or greater GPA and 75 plus in 10th and 12th. So I reached 7.5 plus GPA, but in my 12th, I had 74.46 percentage. So that I wasn't eligible to sit for Deutsche Bank itself. So I knew I had to crack the second highest company at least in college. So that was my aim initially. So for that, I knew JP Morgan was the second highest. I started participating in hackathons. And through the process, I came across Mintra's hackathon. And then I asked my class, Sairi and Jani were not even in my class. I just knew that they participated in hackathons. So I reached out to them. I hadn't spoken to them before that at all. I just reached out, will you participate with me? And they said yes. So I was grateful. I was lucky, I feel, that I got Jani and Sairi as my teammates. And then we participated. Our goal was just to participate and see what happens in these companies' hackathons. We were not aiming to get an internship offer or anything, even to win. We did not even know that there was an interview after we win. We were just focusing on what to build and what is exciting to us. When we were discussing ideas, I used to suggest something. They used to think, नहीं यार इसमें तो कुछ सीखने नहीं मिलेगा, कुछ ऐसा करते जिससे कुछ सीखने मिले. So that is what I learned from them. That whenever you're participating in a hackathon, choose a problem statement from which you get to learn something. So with that motive, we cleared stage by stage and then reached till the internship. So, and then got a PPO. I am still applying off campus, getting rejected, but still some procedures are, going on. So yeah, that is my journey. So now I think I'll be reading out the questions which were sent to me. Is that okay?
Yeah, Anushka. Before that, actually, we have a question here from someone. So he's saying that we all are watching somewhat related to lockdown motivation, that we got time and we did it. But now is in this offline, as it is possible to take, is it possible to take this type of sky jump on you?
I think that Pratik will be able to answer very well because he started CP from year one. He knew his goal was clear what he wants to do. So I think that can be answered by Pratik. And if you want to gain knowledge about consistency and how to stick to one thing, that I think you can learn from Aryan. From me, you can learn jugaad kaise karte hai and how to stick to one thing and manifest it so much that it happens. So after the Mintra thing happened, I also got into JP Morgan. I also won the hackathon, CFG. So because I manifested it so much and I practiced it so much participating in the hackathons, so I think that is why I got in. Yeah. And people might also say that you are a girl, that is why you got into JP Morgan or diversity hiring or whatever. I think if you are a girl going through this, don't listen to them. You have done your hard work. You have done your manifestation, whatever you could. If you are getting an opportunity, go for it. Don't listen to anybody. Okay. So I'll just, say, are you saying something?
No, I was just saying that you can go on with the questions and cover them.
Okay. So how to participate in hackathons without hesitation. Before my second year, I was also very hesitant to participate in hackathons. I used to see my peers participate and win. I used to think hackathon hota kya hai, usme coding hoga, मेरे से तो होगा नहीं, मैं क्या करूँगी उधर जाके, रात भर रुकना है, क्या होगा, I don't know. I used to hesitate a lot, but you need someone to do it in front of you to prove it that this is not something very difficult or something. You just need the right peers with you. You just need the right friends that can help you grow a little, just push a little bit, and then you can start your journey. So I think for me, that was the motivation to get into JP Morgan, but for you, it can be something else. I also had Saili and Janvi, which I got lucky with. So I think, yeah, that helped. And how did you decide which companies you want to apply for? As I said, I used to apply for 10 to 20 internships every day. So there was nothing specific that I was looking for. I just wanted to get something really good. And I knew what I wanted to get is not in my, it is not something which I am layak of right now. I need to get something and be of that capacity. So I have to upskill every day and apply. Jahan bhi ho gaya. Being from a tier 3 college, I think we don't know where to apply, how to apply. I think all of us answered somewhat similar, but I think we are throwing darts in the night and we don't know where are we throwing it. We just have to throw and see which one hits. If we throw 3, 1 will hit. If we throw 10, 2 will hit. If we throw 100, I think 3, 4 will hit. So I think you just have to amplify the chances or amplify how much ever internships or opportunities you're applying for. And how to find off-campus internships or opportunities, I think they already said. How much time do you get for off-campus after on-campus? Okay, so there is no set time. You can apply for off-campus anytime. Tips for preparing for off-campus: just don't be satisfied with what you have right now, what you have gotten, with your rejections also, and with your successes or offers also. Just don't feel satisfied, and then just do what you were doing to prepare for that. Do it consistently. How to get in touch with companies off campus? I think that also they answered.
Anushka, there's one question from someone. It is like how to manage competitive programming and development simultaneously.
Okay, to be honest, I never did competitive programming. I just did DSA and I just solved it on LeetCode and GFG, and that was enough for me. Might not be for you. I still find it very tricky to read the entire essay type problem and then find what was the actual motive of it. I still find it difficult. I think I need time to get used to it even now. But for now, I think LeetCode helped me just to clarify and understand what approach will work in this problem or what approach will this work in that problem. So that helped. So for DSA also, I think if you set a goal for yourself that you want to solve 2 to 3 problems every day, you can do 2 to 3 easily after coming back from college. There are many questions to me on direct message. I just finished with this and okay. What are different roles offered by companies during placements? Okay, so on campus, there are 3 kinds of roles. One is completely non-tech, one is tech plus business, and one is tech. So I just wanted to apply for tech. I did not aim for the other roles, so I don't have much knowledge about those. I'll just answer the question sent to me in direct message. Is that okay? Or is my time over? I think I'm speaking a lot.
Yeah, we can actually cover the direct message questions at the end actually, when there's a Q&A session.
Okay, fine. Sure.
So
I'll end it, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Call the next. So thank you so much, Anushka, for helpful advice. Moving on next, we have Mr. Aryan Nayak from the computer department who has multiple offers from multiple companies. Now I invite Mr. Aryan to please enlighten everyone with his journey.
So hi guys, I'm Aryan. First thing, thank you for that introduction. I'm glad. So starting off, I started competitive programming and DSA in 3rd year. Like 2nd year ending, I started off, but I was not that consistent. So I was not able to do it every day, and that used to haunt me. So I sort of tried to maintain a habit, but it was not developing from a long time because of various other reasons. Because when you're starting off with coding, you get distracted a lot from different things, like you have to do internship, you have to do development, you have to do CP, all of that messes with your head. So initially I was also in that phase. First of all, when I started off, I didn't know which website to even refer to. Like there were so many websites: HackerRank, CodeChef, CodeForces, LeetCode, all of that. So what I decided was just to stick to one and follow that through. I stuck to LeetCode, and I used to, like, sometimes I used to do bit of contest and on Code Forces and this what do you call GFG and Code Chef. But mainly it was lead code that I stuck to, and after that I actually initially I started off by doing development, and I was interested in getting a lot of like building a lot of projects and stuff. But later I found out that DSA is also something interesting, and I liked it. Initially I didn't like, but after a point of time when I got a hang of it and I was able to solve problems, I really found it interesting. So the resources that I refer to was mainly YouTube channel, and even though I initially used to see other solutions, so when I used to not get any problem, I used to see the like the solutions which others have done, and what are the new things that I can learn from them. It helps for initially when you're doing like 100 and 200 problems, but after a point of time, seeing solutions won't help you because you already know everything. So it's just that you're being lazy to not apply that. So yeah, our first 200 300 problems, I learned how to use certain stuff and different techniques and whatnot. After that, I applied to different internships. The first internship I applied through Angel List, and where startups post their jobs and internships. So I got an internship from there at a Bangalore-based startup, and I mainly worked on front end and a bit of back end with Django. The interviews were not that DSA or anything. They were just generic about like what you've done, your projects and stuff. So I got my internship over there, and after that internship, I knew that I wanted to do DSA. So I stuck to lead code and did that for like a year. And yeah, I also applied to like other like a lot of other internships at big companies from in my third year, but I was not able to get any. Although I was able to get a international internship at Metax, which is basically a research-based internship, which I was supposed to go to Canada, but because of the lockdown, I was not able to. So that was basically the interviews for that was basically based on my past experiences. Like I had done a research paper on chatbots and stuff, so maybe that helped. After the internship, I sat for on campus, yeah, and I was not able to get good companies over there. I don't know why, but I was not able to get any good companies. I was like rejected from Deutsche, JP Morgan, a lot of them. But eventually I was able to secure one full-time offer from Deloitte, which was like really good for me at that point, like a confidence booster. So after that, I didn't stop. I just kept on, being consistent at my work and followed through. After like once the job offer was done, I also like did a few other internship. So I had one another offer from like a startup, which was a Series A funded startup, where I just did an internship for a couple of months, but then I left because I had some other plans, and that was mainly purely through reaching out to people who were there from our college. So there were a few people working at that startup, and they were the ones who left Barclays Bank to join that startup. So I was really interested to join that one. So I just reached out to them, and I cleared their interviews. The interviews were mainly based on data structure algorithms, a few assignment. So startups mainly have this thing where they give you the assignments in the start, where you have to do like they give you like 5 days, 4 days, somewhat like that, and you need to build some projects. And after that, they go through a few other rounds, like based on DSA or maybe probably on projects. Yeah, so I did that, and I was also consistent throughout doing lead code. I used to give contests every day. like throughout the year, I've given a lot of contests, and yeah, and that's it. I think after that, in like for Amazon, it was actually I applied like directly on their website, and it was mainly during last year September where I applied when I applied, and I didn't hear back from them for a long time. And in December, I gave an online test from like for a Europe, like for a Europe based all the, I mean, in Europe, the good thing is that they give you a test where that test can be considered by a lot of other, people, recruiters who are considering to hire graduates. So I gave that test, and it was mainly based on DSA, and they have like two, like not, it's like different from India. In India, you have just one test that you have to give in Amazon, whereas in like Europe, you have to give two tests. One is like a normal DSA, and another is like simulation based. So I gave that, and after that, I was ghosted for like 3 months, and then in February, I got a mail from a recruiter that they want to interview me, and I was able to crack that interview. So the interviews were mainly based on data structures and algorithms. Like I was asked in two interviews, I was asked two hard questions, and in one interview, like two medium questions. So yeah, that was the whole interview process, and I finally got an offer from Amazon. And yeah, I have other, like I have two more international offers, but yeah, but let's see, I will be deciding which one to go to. And yeah, that's it. I think that was my journey. So I'll quickly go through the questions over here. Roadmap resources specifically for Amazon interviews. So this is a very wrong thing that you prepare just for Amazon. I mean, it's good to have just one specific company. For example, I wanted to get into Deutsche, but I was not able to, because I mean, you can't control a few things in life. You have to, like, let go certain, I mean, you need to keep a broad uh, like options, because if you just stick to one, then there's a high probability that, if that doesn't happen, then you will probably uh, not be happy with that. So it's better to, like, keep a broad options open. So specifically for Amazon, I wouldn't suggest you should specifically prepare for Amazon. Prepare for like all the companies that you can, because you never know which company you might get into. Because a year back, if someone told me that I would get into Amazon, I wouldn't believe it. So probably you should just keep your options open. Roadmap is probably open there. You can check it out on LeetCode. A lot of people post the questions which have been asked. So yeah. Is it fine if we master any one technology in one domain for on and off campus interview? Yeah, it's totally fine if get one technology and master that. Especially with me, I was always asked in my interview, you've done like front end, back end, and whatnot. Like you've done other research and stuff. So you have a lot of things on your resume. We don't trust you. Like they used to, like, think that I have a lot of things, and uh, you'll be jumping around from one thing to the other thing. So you need to also, like, it's good to have a T, like something, mastery in something, which is, I think, best. Where did they apply for these companies? Through third party platform or the company's main website? It was mainly through company's website. I didn't, like, I applied to a few companies through referral, but I never heard from them. But the ones which irony is that the ones which I applied through website were the ones I got the offers from. So the most difficult part in applying off campus is your resume to be shortlisted among thousands of applicants. Any tips and tricks to ensure? Yeah, so resume is something that you need to keep it sharp from day one. When you know that you've to sit for like interviews, then you need to get back to it every day, and you should be feeling satisfied with your like resume. So I think I spent almost like a month just to prepare and perfect my resume in the start, like in last year February when I was starting off. And I used to keep on updating it as in when I did something good. What motivated you towards solving so many things? How do you deal with burnouts? Did you apply for any other international offers apart from Amazon UK? So motivation. I think the motivation is mainly mainly just to be better. That's it, I think. Nothing like, nothing, because I never knew that I would get such good offers. So it was always a hit or a miss thing. And I kept on motivating myself because I didn't need to motivate myself, honestly, because I made it a habit. I used to do it every day. So it was more of um, uh, like anything you do, which is a habit, for example, like eating every day. It's like that. How do you deal with burnouts? Burnouts, यार मतलब सब लोग का अलग अलग होता है. अभी इसमें क्या बताऊं. So whatever is your kick, you should do that for some time and then get back to it. Did you apply for any other international offers apart from Amazon? Yes, I applied to like a few, but the thing about international offer is that uh, you need to, you never hear back because they ghost you. First, because they have never heard your college, or they never heard about like who you are, like in simple language, like they don't know you, and they don't want to spend energy on hiring people from other countries because they have to spend a lot of resources and money to get you there. So it's really hard, but you can do it. Just like I mean, there are a lot of companies which hire, so you should target them. For example, Amazon is hiring internationally. Then a lot of like booking.com and other companies which are there which hire internationally. Which companies do you recommend to apply for off campus? यार सब अप्लाई कर दो. अभी डोंट नो विच वन. अभी कौन सा मालूम नहीं, अभी कौन सा आएगा तुमको, कौन सा नहीं आएगा. You don't know. Okay, so you should apply to all of them, like all of the top, whichever company you like, you should apply. How to prepare for counter questions in the interview? Yeah, so I had prepared like a document of the questions, like the most asked HR questions, and I used to practice them. After a point, I knew how to handle those questions because I had practiced them so well. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so those were my questions.
You have a question, Arjun. It is, which was the startup you interned at, and what was the role, and how did you get in?
So I've interned at I've interned at 3 startups. First one was the lalstreet.ai, where I got through AngelList, as I mentioned, and the role was software developer, development intern, and I also tried product management for a while, but yeah, mainly it was software development. And then the second one was mainly one was international startup, and other was like the Go Comet, which I mentioned.
The next question for you was like that you have been maintaining a good CGPA from start. So how did you maintain a balance between competitive programming, development, and college studies?
So I started off in lockdown. I never did that before. I was in the dance team. I never did all of this coding shooting. So I did after the lockdown only.
Is it necessary to revise lead code questions? And if yes, then how frequently should we revise them?
So like that's a very gray area, because some people suggest that you should not go to some questions again and again, but I think if you're preparing for specific any company, for example Amazon, so you definitely would want to go to the most frequently asked questions of them. So I think just try to like analyze yourself, which are the areas that you're not good at. For example, I'm not good at I'm not good at binary search, so I'll probably do a few questions of that, and till the time I'm not confident. And the number is also like a very gray area, because I can't prescribe you to do 1,000 problems, which is not right. I should instead prescribe you to do the problems until you're confident with them. So it varies. I'm a bit dumb, so I take like more questions to get myself comfortable with that topic. So yeah, that's it.
The last question to you is that how to manage offline college with coding and maintaining 75% attendance.
I think that is the question that Pratik will be able to answer. Okay.
Thank you so much, Aryan, for your insightful words. Now, lastly, for the most awaited person that we have is Mr. Pratik Kundani from IT department, who has had offers from various companies such as Codenation, Triology, and Goldman Sachs. I would like to invite Mr. Pratik to please enlighten everyone with his journey.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Dashant, for the introduction, and thank you so much, CSI committee for organizing this session. ये session बहुत important है मेरे लिए because I know कोई होगा second year, third year वाला who is not good at coding या फिर college में पढ़ाई भी नहीं करता है, कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, बस खेल रहा है, पता नहीं जिंदगी में क्या करना है. I was same तेरे जैसा. So if you are listening, बस ध्यान से सुनना. तो बात करते हैं and so second semester में I just did I think मुझे बस basics आता था. Like I just knew how to write if else statements, while statements. ठीक है, इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं आता था मुझे. So what happened in first year का summer break जो होता है उसमें क्या हुआ कि I just opened CodeChef. ठीक है, just to see क्या होता है. I think I read some post somewhere कि this will help you get good placements or something. So I just opened CodeChef and I started solving problems from there. So पूरे summer vacation I think I solved 10-20 problems. That's it. So उससे मेरा basics clear हो गया कि how do you write, how do you implement some idea, right? And then after that, what happened? I think second year के first sem, that is third sem में, the TSEC portal started this challenges called weekly challenges. उसमें I used to participate. So उसमें ये एक अच्छा हुआ कि nobody used to participate. So only I and few other people used to participate. So मेरा rank automatically top 3 में रहता था. So that was मतलब वो motivation देता था मुझे कि अच्छा I can do something because I think 11th 12th maybe I was academically very weak and first year maybe I had 4 KTs. So just वो क्या बोलते हैं मोटिवेशन नहीं होता है ना. व्हेन आप गटर में गिर जाते हैं तो खुद को खड़ा कैसे करना है वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो वहां से आई थिंक मोटिवेशन आया कि अच्छा आई कैन डू समथिंग. एंड देन आई मेट सौरभ ऊपर कॉमर्स डिपार्टमेंट में. ही इज अ रियली क्लोज फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन. एंड देन दैट गाय उसका डिसिप्लिन देख के मैंने भी काफी अच्छे से करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. देन नॉट इन थर्ड सेम में वी एट यूज्ड टू जस्ट पार्टिसिपेट. वो भी बस पार्टिसिपेट करता था. हम बहुत सीरियस नहीं थे. वी वर अटेंडिंग कॉलेजेस. मैं तो नहीं करता था, मैं तो टाइम पास ही करता था. बट सौरभ यूज्ड टू अटेंड कॉलेज एंड तो ऑब्वियसली इतना टाइम नहीं मिलता था. एंड वी weren't really serious about coding and all in general. And so जो भी challenges होते थे those were just अभी कोई participate करता था नहीं तो obviously I was मतलब Saturday 3 PM I remember challenges आते थे. I was just there कि नहीं पहले कोड करके सबमिट करना. एंड सो उसके बाद क्या हुआ देन फोर्थ सेम में वी गॉट अ बिट सीरियस कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है. एंड मेरे सीनियर्स भी थे. सो राहुल गोहिल माय सीनियर वो पास आउट हो गया अभी. एंड so he was really good at DSA and मतलब basically he was very smart. So he didn't need a lot of practice to come up with a logic. Automatically पता नहीं क्या था उसमें, दिमाग इतना बढ़िया कैसे था उसका. So वो उसके वजह से आई थिंक वी क्वालिफाइड फॉर ICPC रीजनल्स एज वेल. एंड देन वहां से क्या हुआ आई थिंक देन फोर्थ सेम में लॉकडाउन हुआ राइट. एंड देन सौरभ एंड आई डिसाइडेड कि यार next year let's focus on ICPC and basically let's focus on competitive programming and सब कुछ अच्छे से करते हैं. तो what happened so we started seriously in lockdown. So सौरभ का discipline देख के I was like अरे यार ये कर रहा है ना मुझे पीछे नहीं छोड़ना. Even I want to give my best. And it was really hard because even after solving quite a few problems, even easy questions maybe I used to struggle because it's really hard to find observation in code forces के questions. So since then I think 1 year पूरा lockdown का we just did this. दिन भर हमारा प्लान ही ये होता था, डेली उठते थे सौरभ एंड मैं, अच्छा डूड आई एम सॉल्विंग दिस टुडे, वो बोलता था अच्छा मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, एंड साथ में हम ये करते थे कि अच्छा तूने कितना सॉल्व किया, मैंने इतना किया, फिर डिस्कस भी करते थे क्वेश्चन, एंड दैट्स हाउ हम साथ में वी हेल्प ईच अदर ग्रो, एंड वी मेट Saket Tota, if you all know, I think he's in comms, third year. तो साकेत से मिला मैं इन सेम 3 आई थिंक, सेम 4 के एंडिंग में. आई जस्ट मेट हिम वंस, एंड देन लॉकडाउन में वी ऑल फॉर्म्ड अ ग्रुप, साकेत, मी एंड सौरभ, ऐसे ही डिस्कस करने के लिए, बिकॉज कोई करता था नहीं सीखी तभी. सो साकेत, मैं एंड सौरभ, वी यूज्ड टू सॉल्व प्रॉब्लम्स टुगेदर, एंड उसके बाद एक पॉइंट आया व्हेन आई वाज सीरियस अबाउट कि अच्छा प्लेसमेंट चाहिए मुझे, एंड सिंस फर्स्ट ईयर ओनली मेरा गोल वाज वेरी क्लियर कि मैं 10-12 लाख रुपए की जॉब तो मुझे नहीं चाहिए. आई वांट समथिंग दैट इज मोर देन 20 और 30, जितना मैक्सिमम हो सके. दैट वाज प्रीटी क्लियर. एंड देन व्हाट हैपेंड वाज, इंटर्नशिप का जब टाइम आता है ना कि थर्ड ईयर में, if you all know, if you get a really good internship in third year ka summer, so like how Anushka and Saili, or I don't know third girl, I think Janvi, they converted it into like unko full time de diya, right? So that's the advantage of having a good internship. So I was also aiming for good internships in Google, Uber and Microsoft. So जहाँ पे भी अप्लाई किया वहाँ से रिजेक्शन का ईमेल आया. They didn't even give me एक क्या बोलते हैं ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट का लिंक या कुछ. So that was really depressing because I thought, अरे यार मतलब अभी तो कुछ होगा ही नहीं, right? And then what happened was, then कुछ नहीं यार, मतलब बस डेली करते गए, and then end में जब प्लेसमेंट्स आया ना, तो प्लेसमेंट्स आया तो तभी क्या हुआ, first company was Deutsche Bank, first company was JP Morgan, and I don't know why, जिनका भी they solved 2 questions properly, जिनके भी full marks थे, उन सबको रिजेक्ट कर दिया. एंड सेम थिंग हैपेंड विद माय सीनियर्स. उन्होंने भी यही बोला कि जो भी दोनों क्वेश्चंस अच्छे से सॉल्व कर देते उनको रिजेक्ट कर देते. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. सो मैंने तो दोनों कर दिए थे, एंड ऑब्वियसली रिजेक्ट कर दिया. एंड देन डोइश बैंक आया, तो व्हाट हैपेंड वाज, पहले तो उनका पॉइंटर का क्राइटेरिया था, मुझे लगा तो मेरा तो पॉइंटर ही कम है, बट 7.2 था. सो एंड 7 वाज द, क्या बोलते हैं, 7 was the criteria. तो मैंने I qualified for Deutsche Bank. And then जब online assessment हुआ, तो in spite of solving all the 3 questions, I didn't get through because shortlisting was based on किसका CGPA जितना अच्छा है. So top 30 candidates, जिन्होंने भी I think at least one question solve किया था, top 30 candidates जिनका CGPA अच्छा है, and mine was 7.2. And जिनका भी जो top 30 थे, I think सबका was 9.2 plus या 9.5 plus. I don't remember, but it was quite high, obviously because of online exams. So what happened then was, it was really depressing here because Deutsche Bank is Google for T-Sec students. It was not my dream company. Deutsche Bank was my backup. यार कुछ नहीं हुआ तो Deutsche Bank जाएंगे, ऐसा था मेरा. And जब बैकअप ही नहीं रहा तो तभी लगा अरे यार ज्यादा तो नहीं उड़ रहा हूँ मैं हवा में. So what happened then was, जब Deutsche Bank ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया तो it was like एक वेकअप कॉल था मेरे लिए कि यार कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. एंड देन मैंने डिसाइड कर लिया कि यार बाकी ऑब्वियसली उसके बाद जो कंपनीज आ रही थी, मेरा तो एम था ही नहीं वो. तो मैं बोला मैं तो प्लेसमेंट से नहीं बैठ रहा, मैं तो ऑफ कैंपस जाऊंगा. एंड आई मिस्ड 2-3 कंपनीज, UBS एंड आई डोंट नो, 2-3 कंपनीज थे जिनके लिए मैं बैठा ही नहीं. बट माय फ्रेंड अर्चित टोल्ड मी कि यार देख, इफ यू वांट अ गुड ऑफर, वैसे भी लेट्स से इफ यू गेट 20 LPA प्लस, तो भी तू ड्रॉप कर सकता है जो तुझे ऑफर मिला है ऑन कैंपस पे. तो ऑफर लेने में कोई बुराई नहीं है, राइट? कुछ नुकसान नहीं है. सो आई वाज लाइक ठीक है यार, ले लेता हूँ ऑफर, मेरा क्या जा रहा है. एंड आई गॉट इन बार्कलेज का, आई थिंक वही मेरा एक इंटरव्यू था, और मैंने क्लियर कर लिया. बार्कलेज का प्रोसेस वाज नथिंग, इट वाज जस्ट 30 मिनट्स का रेज्यूमे डिस्कशन, एंड दैट्स इट. पहले ऑनलाइन टेस्ट भी था, एंड उसमें दिस टाइम आई गॉट थ्रू, इंटरव्यू भी दिया, एंड आई क्लियर्ड इट. So Barclays was my first job offer. Obviously, I was not satisfied with that. I was like, चल ठीक है यार, कुछ तो मिला. And it was, चल जैसे I think किसी ने तो बोला कि I think शगुन ने बोला कि हाँ एक रिलीफ मिलता है कि यार कुछ तो है अपने पास. And then देन क्या वही करते थे हम, लाइक मेरा तो टाइम टेबल ही ऐसा था कि उठो, सीपी करो, सो जाओ. दैट वाज माय टाइम टेबल. इट वाज नॉट लाइक आई वाज रियली कंसिस्टेंट. बहुत सारा टाइम था जब मैंने बहुत टाइम पास किया है, ऐसे हफ्ते निकल जाते थे, पता भी नहीं चलता था. एंड कंसिस्टेंसी में तो मैं इतना अच्छा हूँ नहीं, एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई लुक अप टू आर्यन, कितना कंसिस्टेंट है. एंड यू शुड रीड हिज मीडियम का पोस्ट. एंड so then what happened, I think ये तो Deutsche Bank हो गया, Barclays I got, and then I kept doing CP, and then Goldman का भी जो process था, it was going on. तो Goldman का you know सब जगह बता देते हैं, like whenever Goldman hire करता है ना, जब भी hire करता है तो सब LinkedIn पे सब influencers post डाल दे, वो Goldman is hiring, Goldman is hiring, तो पता चल जाता है. तो मुझे पता चल गया Goldman is hiring, and I applied Goldman के लिए, and I gave the aptitude test. I cleared it. अभी उसमें so एक ये है कि यार बहुत प्रिपेयर करने की जरूरत है नहीं एप्टीट्यूड के लिए. So what I did was Goldman का एक सेक्शन होता है where there are really questions based on इसका mirror image क्या होगा, what would be the water image of it, या इसको reverse कर देंगे, what would be the next figure of the sequence. So वो वाले questions I don't know, I'm good at it. And easy भी, I think everyone is good at it. तो वो बस मैंने वो section अच्छे से target किया, and the comprehension one जो English वाला होता है, right, बस वो मैंने अच्छे से किया, and बाकी मैंने पूरा छोड़ दिया, कुछ नहीं किया. I think I only did 35-40 questions, but I made sure that वो correct है. Full 2 hours या 3 hours, I don't remember कितना था, but I made sure कि यार every question that I'm marking is correct, because negative marking होता है. So fortunately मैंने clear कर लिया first round of Goldman, and then the second round का email came I think 2 months later या 1 month later. Second round was again, it was coding, and it was maths का भी section था. यहाँ पे भी math मुझे आता है नहीं. It was circle का equation, calculus, and पता नहीं, बहुत ही बेकार था वो. तो मैंने तो छोड़ दिया वो. जो कोडिंग का सेक्शन था, आई डिड इट प्रॉपर्ली. कोडिंग ही एक ऐसा जगह है, डीएसई ऐसा है जो अपने को आता है, तो वो मैंने कर लिया. एंड ऑब्वियसली आई क्लियर्ड. मुझे लग नहीं रहा था कि मैं कर पाऊँ, आई गेट थ्रू, बट आई गॉट थ्रू. फिर गोल्डमैन का इंटरव्यूज आई थिंक हैपेंड इन दिसंबर, आई थिंक दिसंबर 2021. तो देख रहे हो, मतलब 2021 तक मेरे पास एक ही ऑफर था, एंड से एवरी डे माइंड में यही था कि यार चाहिए अपने को 20 LPA प्लस चाहिए कैसे भी करके. तो गोल्डमैन का इंटरव्यू हैपेंड, एंड ऑल 3 इंटरव्यूज सेम दिन पे. बहुत इजी था, जस्ट सिंपल डीएसए क्वेश्चंस थे. गोल्डमैन इज नॉट हार्ड, ठीक है, मतलब ऑब्वियसली इफ यू हैव प्रैक्टिस रिपोर्ट किया हुआ तो ओनली देन इट्स इजी फॉर यू. क्या पूछा गोल्डमैन में? इट वाज ओनली डीएसए क्वेश्चंस, questions related to object oriented programming, and basically बहुत easy था. So I cleared all 3 interviews, and then I got the offer in January. But उसके बाद I got email for Amazon. ठीक है, Amazon का मेरा इंटरव्यू ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट का लिंक आया. So I applied through referral Amazon में, and I got the link for online assessment का. And कोई भी अप्लाई करता है, I think सबको ही मिल रहा है. I don't know exactly, but I applied to referral. And test में you have to solve all the questions, and so basically होता है उसमें 2 coding questions है, and aptitude होता है. So aptitude again बहुत hard नहीं था, it was easy only. It depends, like practice भी करना चाहिए. मैंने कभी नहीं किया practice, मैंने aptitude कभी नहीं किया है, ठीक है. aptitude easy था, थोड़ा गूगल कर लो, वहां से भी मिल जाता है. सेम क्वेश्चंस रिपीट करता है Amazon. तो टेस्ट दे रहे हो तो गूगल भी कर ही लो कि अच्छा इसका आंसर क्या है, ठीक है. सो मैंने गूगल करके ना आंसर्स मार्क किए थे Amazon के टेस्ट में, एंड कोडिंग क्वेश्चंस तो बहुत ही बेसिक स्टैंडर्ड थे, तो वो मैंने कर दिए. एंड सो टेस्ट वाज नॉट हार्ड, एंड उसके वजह से आई गॉट अ कॉल कि इंटरव्यूज के लिए. एंड देन मेरा प्रोसेस हुआ, फर्स्ट सेकंड राउंड प्योर डीएसए क्वेश्चंस, कुछ नहीं पूछा. आई थिंक सेकंड राउंड में दे आस्क्ड एचआर क्वेश्चंस कि हाउ डू यू टेल मी अ टाइम व्हेन जहाँ पे तुमने डेडलाइन मीट किया, एंड क्या तुमने फॉलो किया, या फिर ऐसा कोई चैलेंजिंग सिचुएशन जो तुमने फेस किया, हाउ डिड यू ओवरकम इट, बेसिकली कैसे प्लान आउट किया एंड एवरीथिंग. तो दैट वाज सेकंड, आई थिंक सेकंड इंटरव्यू. थर्ड इंटरव्यू वाज बार रेजर. इट वाज बेसिकली ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन था. प्रोग्रामिंग का ही था, लाइक लॉजिक डीएसए ही था उसमें भी, बट इट वाज अ बिट हार्ड. सो Amazon का आई गिव द इंटरव्यू एंड मुझे अभी तक उसका रिजल्ट आया नहीं है. आई एम वेटिंग फॉर दैट. सो एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन का भी मेरा प्रोसेस साइमल्टेनियसली चल रहा था. कोऑर्डिनेशन का आई अप्लाइड. सो कोऑर्डिनेशन का देयर इज, हर एक जो भी इंटरव्यू देना होता है ना कोऑर्डिनेशन का, पहले यू हैव टू give this aptitude test on crossover.com. So crossover I think coordination का parent company का ही software है या hiring platform है. So वहाँ पे aptitude दिया and I cleared all the assessments. DSA का assessment था. There was English का assessment just to check how your pronunciation is. Then there was एक video निकालो खुद का and talk about the most challenging situation that you have faced and how did you overcome it. So मैं expect नहीं कर रहा था कुछ होगा. मैंने ऐसे ही कैजुअली ले रहा था, बट वो हो गया एंड आई गॉट अ कॉल फॉर इंटरव्यू देन कोऑर्डिनेशन के लिए. एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन का प्रोसेस वही 2-3 डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स पे इंटरव्यू होता है, स्टैंडर्ड है. बट कोऑर्डिनेशन का इसके थोड़ा हार्ड होता है. सीपी पूछता है, लाइक थोड़ा एकदम हार्ड होता है. सो आई वाज लकी दैट दे आस्क्ड मी क्वेश्चंस ऑन माय स्ट्रॉन्ग एरियाज. ठीक है, तो वो मैंने क्लियर कर लिया एंड देन आई गॉट द ऑफर कोऑर्डिनेशन के लिए. एंड सो गोल्डमैन हो गया, कोऑर्डिनेशन हो गया, Amazon का मैंने इंटरव्यू दिया, राइट. एंड देन कोऑर्डिनेशन के बाद तो क्या, कुछ नहीं, मैं गोवा ट्रिप के लिए चला गया देन. एंड उसके बाद अभी तक तो कुछ कर नहीं रहा हूँ मैं, बट द पॉइंट इज कि मतलब मेरा गोल क्लियर था एंड जो भी क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे ना मैं उसका आंसर करता हूँ. आई थिंक आई हाँ मैंने कुछ प्रिपेयर किया. आई वांट टू टेल अ फ्यू थिंग्स कि क्या किया मैंने. सो मेरा प्रोसेस जो था, सो बेसिकली मेरा कुछ डिफरेंट था नहीं. यू कैन रीड प्रीवियस योर इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस ऑन Geeks for Geeks. सेम ही था, मेरा कुछ खास था नहीं. सो इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस कैसा था, क्या होता है, यू कैन जस्ट गो एंड रीड अप ऑन Geeks for Geeks का इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस वाला सेक्शन. सो वन क्वेश्चन इज हाउ डू यू बिल्ड how to build logic for problem solving. So problem solving के लिए ना, I think this is very important. And अगर if you know notes ले रहे हो तो ले लो. So जो ये मेरा ओपिनियन है, ठीक है. So मैंने ना बहुत टाइम वेस्ट किया है. I solved almost 1,000 questions and फिर भी मेरा इम्प्रूवमेंट उतना था नहीं. So when जब मैंने इंट्रोस्पेक्ट किया कि क्या हो रहा है, like why like people are solving 500-600 questions and like they are way better than me, like मैं ऐसा क्या गलत कर रहा हूँ. So the thing was that I was looking at the solutions quickly, like question पढ़ा, 5 मिनट सोचा. You know I was just lazy कि यार चलो बस solve करना है जल्दी से जल्दी. So I just used to look at the editorial. Okay, this is how you do it. Then मैं code भी नहीं करता था कुछ. I just used to copy the code and paste it, submit कर देता था and I used to get accepted. So that was not right. Though मुझे लगता था कि अच्छा I'm improving, I'm solving a lot of questions, but quality is always more important than quantity. ठीक है, ये rule 1 है, ये हमेशा ध्यान रखो. Whatever you're solving, it should be just out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone के अंदर कभी नहीं solve करना, कुछ improvement नहीं होता. Basically time ही waste कर रहे हो अपना, वो time pass ही होता है. ठीक है, आप delusion में हो कि आप improve कर रहे हो, but ऐसा है नहीं. तो basically you have to figure out, okay, let's say I'm good at lead code easy, so maybe try lead code medium. Or if you're solving on code forces, let's say you're comfortable with 1400 rated questions, so maybe try 1500-1600 rated questions. And every question ऐसा होना चाहिए कि at least 1 hour लगना चाहिए इसको करने के लिए. At least 1 hour 2 भी चलेगा, but 1 hour लगना चाहिए practice के लिए. And वो होना ऐसा चाहिए कि let's say you start read the question first. ठीक है, पहली बात तो टाइमर लगा. ठीक है, there should be 30 minute का timer on your screen. Timer लगाना चाहिए and then start reading the question. Note down the conditions. Okay, these are the conditions. This is what the problem demands, and this is what I have to find. Then give yourself 30 minutes to just think on the logic. Code नहीं करना है, कुछ नहीं करना है. Logic क्या होगा and how will I implement it? Code कैसे करूँगा? ठीक है, 35 minutes or 40 minutes. 40 minutes if you're getting the logic. ठीक है, हाँ कुछ आ रहा है and then you can keep doing that. अगर कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा है 30 minutes के बाद still you are blank and कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा है, तो then you can read first 2 lines of editorial. ठीक है, सिर्फ 2 लाइन पढ़ना है, पूरा editorial नहीं पढ़ना है. पहले 2-3 लाइन पढ़ो and then think on the problem again. Okay, I was thinking something else. I was thinking greedy, but this problem is on dynamic programming. how do I solve it using dynamic programming, and then try to form DP के states या फिर जो भी problem होगा basically, ठीक है, and then ऐसे करते करते then give yourself 10 minutes more, okay now I'm getting it, and then जब तुमको मिल गया okay this is the logic, then start coding it. कोड करने में भी 10 minutes लगता है ना, जब कोड करते हो तो then you will remember, then दिमाग में आता है कि okay this is the corner case that I'm missing, है ना, तो तभी फिर मे बी शायद तुम्हारा लॉजिक ही पूरा रॉन्ग हो जाए, ऐसा भी हो सकता है, बट वो जो प्रोसेस है ना, जो आप फाइट मार रहे हो, वो वर्थ इट है, बिकॉज उस वो ही तुम्हारा डेवलपमेंट कराएगा। जब फाइट मार के फेल हो गए ना, क्योंकि आई फेल्ड इन दिस प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज मैं सोच रहा था कुछ और बट ये है कुछ और, उसके वजह से ही तुम्हारा क्या बोलते हैं इम्प्रूवमेंट होगा, एंड नेक्स्ट टाइम यू सॉल्व अ सिमिलर क्वेश्चन तो तुमको पता रहेगा अरे यार मैंने वो गलती किया था, तो अभी मैं रिपीट नहीं करूंगा ऑब्वियसली, राइट। तो ये एक चीज है कि जब भी सॉल्व करते हो ना, टाइमर लगाओ, फाइट मारो, इफ यू आर गेटिंग स्टक तो सिर्फ फर्स्ट 2-3 लाइंस पढ़ना है एडिटोरियल का, एंड देन लेट्स से कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है, स्टिल यू आर गेटिंग स्टक, तो पूरा एडिटोरियल पढ़ लो, फिर से सोचो अच्छा, और फिर डेप्थ होना चाहिए थिंकिंग में ना, डेप्थ होना चाहिए, ऐसा ऊपर ऊपर से नहीं होना चाहिए, एकदम डेप्थ होना चाहिए, डीपली सोचो कि अच्छा ये हो क्यों रहा है, क्वेश्चन एवरी लाइन ऑफ योर कोड, व्हाई एम आई राइटिंग दिस, इसका एडवांटेज क्या है, व्हाई एम आई सॉर्टिंग द अरे, व्हाट्स द एडवांटेज ऑफ इट, व्हाई एम आई यूजिंग नेस्टेड फॉर लूप, व्हाई इज दिस डीपी स्टेट लाइक दिस, व्हाई एम आई यूजिंग सम डेटा स्ट्रक्चर लाइक हीप, हीप के अंदर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कैसे, व्हाट इज द टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ इंसर्टिंग समथिंग इनटू हीप, या फिर व्हाट इज दिस डेटा स्ट्रक्चर। सो डीप में घुसो एकदम, एवरी क्वेश्चन, इफ लेट्स से 3 आवर्स भी ले रहा है ना वो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने के लिए, एक क्वेश्चन से आप बहुत सारी चीजें सीख रहे हो ना, वो बहुत अच्छा है कंपेयर टू सॉल्विंग 10 क्वेश्चंस इन 3 आवर्स एंड लर्निंग नथिंग फ्रॉम इट, राइट। सो ये प्रोसेस फॉलो करो, ठीक है, एडिटोरियल पढ़ लेना एंड में पूरा, एंड देन कोड जब करोगे ना, कोड खुद से करना, डोंट लुक एट द एडिटोरियल, डोंट लुक एट द कोड, कोड खुद से करो, बेसिकली जितना हो सके उतना ट्राई टू एब्जॉर्ब द प्रॉब्लम, ट्राई टू ब्रेक द प्रॉब्लम इनटू पीसेस, एंड देन एक एक पीस सॉल्व करने का ट्राई करो, ठीक है, ब्रिक बाय ब्रिक बिल्ड द सॉल्यूशन, दिस इज द होल प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, एंड ये सीपी करने का मेन आई थिंक यही है कि आपको प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग सिखाएगा, एंड ये ना लाइफ के दूसरे एरियाज में भी रिफ्लेक्ट होगा, यू गेट इनटू सम प्रॉब्लम तो आप वैसा सोचते लगोगे, एंड इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट ये इंटरव्यूज क्लियर हो जाएंगे एंड पैकेज अच्छा मिलेगा, बट लाइफ में भी मेरे ये तो एटलीस्ट है कि लेट्स से इफ आई हैव अ प्रॉब्लम इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, मैं इसको सॉल्व कैसे करूं, ठीक है, तो बेसिकली मेरा ब्रेन ऑटोमेटिकली चलने लगता है वो डायरेक्शन में, तो वो एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज है, ठीक है। आई थिंक सीपी सबने करना चाहिए, इवन इफ यू आर फ्रॉम मैकेनिकल या कोई भी ब्रांच से हो, सीपी तो करो ही, आई थिंक एटलीस्ट गिव इट अ शॉट, ठीक है, एटलीस्ट बिकम डिसेंट एट इट, देन तुम ही नोटिस करोगे कि हाँ यार सही बोल रहा हूँ मैं, ठीक है, एंड दिस वाज अबाउट हाउ टू बिल्ड प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग का लॉजिक, मोर फोकस ऑन सीपी और डेवलपमेंट। देखो यार मैं तो सीपी के पाथ से गया था, डेवलपमेंट में आई थिंक देयर इज ज्यादा कंपटीशन, आई थिंक हैकाथन आई थिंक टॉप 3 में आना पड़ता है, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, टॉप 3 में आओगे एंड देन आई थिंक दे गिव यू एन इंटर्नशिप, मुझे एग्जैक्टली आइडिया नहीं है बिकॉज आई हैवंट एक्सपीरियंस्ड डेवलपमेंट वाला पाथ। सीपी मैं बोलूंगा सीपी करो बिकॉज इंटरव्यू में they are going to ask the DSA questions, right? So if लेना है, प्रेफर करना है पाथ, अगर तुमको डेवलपमेंट भी नहीं आता, सीपी भी नहीं आता, तो आई थिंक मेरे हिसाब से सीपी कर लो, है ना, एंड क्योंकि डेवलपमेंट जितना मैंने देखा है मेरे हिसाब से उतना मैटर नहीं करता, तुमको कोई जरूरत नहीं है बहुत ही एकदम बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट बना दिया, एमएल डाल दिया, ये भी डाल दिया, एकदम फैंसी चीजें होती है ना, वो करने की जरूरत है नहीं, बिकॉज वो एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं करते कि तुमको आता है कुछ, एनीवेज वहां पे जाके तुम काम करोगे ना, वो प्रॉब्लम्स बहुत डिफरेंट है जो तुम पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट में करते हो, पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट में यू डोंट थिंक अबाउट स्केलेबिलिटी, या फिर मतलब कुछ लोग सोचते होंगे बट मैं तो नहीं सोचता था जब मैं पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट बनाता था, और या मेरे बैचमेट्स जितना मुझे पता है ऐसा कोई सोचता नहीं था कि अच्छा ऐसे करूंगा, फिर ऑप्टिमाइज कैसे करूँ इसको, एंड अच्छा व्हाई डू आई नीड टू यूज नो सीक्वल इंस्टेड ऑफ सीक्वल, नो सीक्वल की यूज करे क्योंकि मुझे वही आता है इसलिए वही यूज कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा नहीं होता, राइट। तो बहुत सारी चीजें होती है हाई लेवल पे, तो वो बिल्कुल एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते कि तुमको कुछ आता हो, सो डोंट वरी दैट मच अबाउट प्रोजेक्ट्स क्या बनाने हैं, एंड आई थिंक 2 बना लो, ठीक है, डिसेंट से, फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड होना चाहिए, बट खुद से बनाओ एंड मेक श्योर दैट यू नो एवरीथिंग। बेसिक क्वेश्चंस इंटरव्यू में दैट दे विल आस्क यू अबाउट प्रोजेक्ट्स इज व्हाई डिड यू यूज SQL या नो SQL, या ये डेटाबेस क्यों किया, व्हाट वर द अल्टरनेटिव्स, व्हाई डिड यू चूज टू go with this, है ना? आप प्रॉब्लम क्या सॉल्व करो, मोटिवेशन क्या था प्रोजेक्ट का, व्हाई आर यू मेकिंग इट, राइट? एक आंसर हो सकता है कि आई जस्ट वांटेड टू गेट फेमिलियर विद द टेक स्टैक, राइट? वैलिड आंसर है, ये कर सकते हो। एंड और एक क्वेश्चन होता है कि इसमें और फीचर्स क्या ऐड कर सकते हैं, हाउ विल यू इम्प्लीमेंट इट? देन मे बी वो तुम्हारा डेटाबेस जो तुमने बनाया, दे माइट चेंज इट, एंड देन तुमको पूछेंगे अच्छा ये क्वेरी ऑप्टिमाइज कैसे करोगे, एंड देन ही बेसिकली वो चाह रहा है कि तुम आंसर करो कि अच्छा आई नॉर्मलाइज द डेटाबेस, या फिर समझ रहे हो? तो बेसिकली इन डेप्थ कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट हो, डिसेंट सा इन डेप्थ पता होना चाहिए। एंड बहुत जरूरी नहीं है डेवलपमेंट में तुम घुस के कर रहे हो और ये सब, ये मेरा ओपिनियन है, ठीक है? बिकॉज दिस इज हाउ आई गॉट, जो भी मुझे ऑफर मिला एंड जो मैंने नोटिस किया, तो इतना जरूरी नहीं है। सो आई थिंक मेरे ओपिनियन के हिसाब से सीपी करो, ठीक है? एंड देयर आर हैकेथॉन्स, हाँ हाँ हैकेथॉन्स भी होते हैं इसमें। सो लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल हाउ अनुष्का एंड साइली गॉट मिंत्रा थ्रू हैकेथॉन, तो डेवलपमेंट आता है तो अच्छी बात है, वहां पे तुम फोड़ पाओगे, राइट? सो तुम डिसाइड करो तुम्हारे लिए बेस्ट क्या रहेगा, राइट? क्योंकि मैं सीपी वाला हूँ तो ऑब्वियसली आई एम अ बिट बायस्ड, राइट? टिप्स फॉर क्रैकिंग ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट, इफ यू आर गुड एट सीपी यू विल गेट थ्रू इजीली, ठीक है? बहुत सिंपल है। वुड लव टू नो देयर जर्नी एंड एक्सपीरियंस अबाउट हैक। एक भी हैकेथॉन नहीं बैठा हूँ मैं, ठीक है? लाइफ में एक हैकेथॉन नहीं बैठा हूँ। कोडिंग एंड प्रोग्रामिंग, कोडिंग आई थिंक, कोडिंग का अगर जर्नी जानना है तो यू कैन वॉच माई सेशन ऑन टीसेक कोर्सेज यूट्यूब चैनल। वहाँ पे हमने सीपी के बारे में इन डेप्थ डिस्कस किया है, सो वो जाके चेकआउट कर सकते हो। What do they think made them good enough to apply to their respective dream companies? So यार मैं तो हमेशा से ही बड़ा सोचता था, ठीक है? आई रिमेम्बर फर्स्ट ईयर में मैं फ्रेंड्स को बोलता था ओ आई विल गेट 40 LPA का पैकेज लगेगा मेरा, सब लोग हंसते थे, ठीक है? बट आज एवरीथिंग जो भी मैंने इमेजिन किया था इट हैज कम ट्रू, और अभी आई एम द वन लाफिंग। ठीक है? तो इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन योर माइंडसेट, इट ऑल स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम, यहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है कि यार करना है, पहले फेथ आना चाहिए कि मैं कर सकता हूँ। और अगर रोते रहोगे ना कुछ नहीं होने वाला, कोई तुम्हारी हेल्प नहीं करने वाला है। यू आर 100% रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर योर लाइफ, ओनरशिप लो अपने लाइफ का, ठीक है? एंड एक, बिकॉज बहुत सारे लोग ना सोचते भी नहीं है कि 5 years बाद हाउ मच मनी आई वांट, या मैं कितना मेरे पास मेरा लाइफस्टाइल कैसा होना चाहिए, ये कोई नहीं सोचता। बिकॉज इफ यू सी अपना द वर्ल्ड, अपनी जो दुनिया है, रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड मनी इन सम वे, मतलब काफी हद तक। तो मनी, यार पैसा कमाना तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अभी आपको समझना नहीं होगा बिकॉज योर पेरेंट्स आर प्रोवाइडिंग फॉर यू, जो भी तुम आईफोन खरीद रहे हो तुम्हारे डैड का पैसा है, इट्स नॉट योर्स। तो जो भी जूते पहन रहे हो इट्स योर डैड का पैसा। तो पहले ओनरशिप लो लाइफ का, ठीक है? तुम भिखारी हो, तुम्हारे पास कुछ नहीं है, ये समझना चाहिए अपने को। एंड देन मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ यहाँ से, कैसे मैं जाके मुझे मेरी लाइफ सक्सेसफुल बनानी है ना, आई खुद के, तुम पहले बेस्ट फ्रेंड बनो, यार मैं खुद का बेस्ट फ्रेंड हूँ, आई वांट माई सेल्फ टू बी देयर। बिकॉज वो जब तक नहीं आएगा ना, तो तब तक यार कोई हेल्प नहीं करने वाला। तब तक ना तुम काम करोगे ना कुछ करोगे, बस रोते रहोगे, ये नहीं हो रहा है वो नहीं हो रहा है, पूछते रहोगे यार रोड मैप बता दे, ये बता दे। तुम, ठीक है, तुमको तो पता है सेशन अटेंड करने की जरूरत भी नहीं है। इफ यू गो ऑन यूट्यूब, इतना मटेरियल पड़ा है फ्री में, इतने वेबसाइट्स है। बस वो ऑब्सेशन किसी के पास है ना, और अच्छा मैं कर सकता हूँ, मुझे बस, मैं कैसे करूँ, जाके गूगल कर लो यार, सिंपल। इतने सारे हजारों रिसोर्सेज है, तुमको बस जाके काम करना है। प्रॉब्लम है कि पीपल प्रोक्रास्टिनेट, सबको पता है करना क्या है, बट करता कोई नहीं है, ठीक है? दैट्स द रीजन दैट तुम जो भी हो इम्प्रूव नहीं कर रहे हो, राइट? तो अगर तुम हो वैसे जो बस नेटफ्लिक्स देख रहा है और क्या बोलते हैं, अपनी जिंदगी बर्बाद कर रहे हो बेसिकली, ये ट्रुथ है, ठीक है? जब प्लेसमेंट्स आएंगे ना तब समझेगा कि यार कितनी बड़ी गलती कर दी मैंने। बिकॉज आई हैव सीन माई फ्रेंड्स, अभी उनको रेगरेट होता है, राइट? वो मेरे पे हंसते थे, बट अभी द इक्वेशन इज कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट। सो ऑलवेज सीक पीपल हु आर बेटर देन यू, ठीक है? एंड ऐसे फ्रेंडशिप्स बनाओ जहाँ पे आप, दे आर बेटर देन यू। जो भी आपके फ्रेंडशिप्स है ना, अगर आप बस नेटफ्लिक्स, अरे डूड ये शो देखा क्या, अरे डूड क्या बोलते हैं, बेसिकली बकवास कर रहे हो ना, अरे डूड वो लड़की देख ले, अरे डूड ये देख के क्या मूवी आया है मस्त, ऐसा। अगर आपका फ्रेंडशिप बस यही कॉन्वर्जेशन के अराउंड रिवॉल्व होता है ना, तो वो गार्बेज फ्रेंडशिप है, वो समझ लो, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू टेक यू एनीवेयर. यू शुड हैव एटलीस्ट टू फ्रेंड्स, यू शुड हैव एटलीस्ट टू फ्रेंड्स जिनसे आप सीख पा रहे हो कि यार मतलब सामने वाला बेटर होना चाहिए तुमसे. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल कि आई मेट सौरभ. वो सही टाइम पे मुझे मिला, ठीक है, वो सही टाइम पे मिला, एंड ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई एम हियर. मैं तो बोलता हूँ सौरभ से नहीं मिलता ना, आज शायद मेरी प्लेसमेंट भी नहीं लगती, ठीक है. तो जस्ट बिकॉज आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग सीपी एंड आई रियलाइज कि अच्छा मेरे पास पोटेंशियल है, ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई एम हियर. एंड ऑल्सो आर्यन ने भी मुझे आई थिंक एक बुक रिकमेंड किया था, डीप बुक, एंड आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग दैट. उसके बाद से भी काफी चेंजेस आए. सो थैंक यू आर्यन फॉर दैट. एंड सो फ्रेंडशिप्स के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, तो गो मीट न्यू पीपल जो आपसे बेटर है, टीसेक में ही बना लो, ठीक है. अभी ये सेशन के बाद ऑब्वियसली कुछ लोग होंगे जो ऑल ऑफ यू आर इन द सेम बोट, सबको प्लेसमेंट चाहिए. सो फाइंड पीपल हु आर एट योर लेवल, नॉट योर लेवल, बेटर हो तो ऑब्वियसली अच्छी बात है, बट आप बेटर लोगों को सीक आउट करोगे तो यार वो आपको क्यों अपना फ्रेंड बनाएंगे ना, राइट. आपको भी दिखाना पड़ेगा कि यार मेरे में दम है, मैं मेहनती हूँ, ओनली देन वो आपको भाव देंगे. एक एग्जांपल देख लो कि कॉलेज में जो भी बच्चों को केटी लगता है ना, बैक बेंचर्स, उनको कोई भाव नहीं देता, ठीक है, सब इग्नोर करते हैं. एक क्लास का एग्जांपल ले लो, होंगे ना कुछ लोग, राइट, कोई भाव नहीं देता उनको. बट अगर आप और उनको देख लो जो बहुत अच्छा करे लाइफ में, अच्छा हैकाथॉन जीत लिया या फिर वो प्लेसमेंट हो गया, एवरीबडी इज अट्रैक्टेड दैट पर्सन की भाई क्या कर दिया इसने, राइट. सो आपको अपना वर्थ बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. दैट्स ओनली पॉसिबल व्हेन यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन योरसेल्फ, स्टार्ट वर्किंग हार्ड एंड अचीव समथिंग. तो पहली बात तो यार मैच्योरिटी आना चाहिए कि यार आई एम रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर माई लाइफ. कितना भी कर लो, कोई कितने भी रोड मैप्स देख लो, कुछ नहीं होने वाला जब तक माइंडसेट नहीं है. तो पहली बात तो ये होगी. एंड और एक मैं बताऊंगा, इवन इफ आपको अरे डिक्लेयर करना भी नहीं आता ना, इफ यू आर इन थर्ड ईयर, ठीक है, अरे डिक्लेयर करना भी नहीं आता, एक कोडिंग का क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना भी नहीं आता, तो भी मैं बोलूंगा कि इट्स पॉसिबल. बस स्टार्ट कर लो, है ना. एंड और एक पूछा था कि हाउ आर यू कंसिस्टेंट फॉर 1 year. आई थिंक वही यार, माइंडसेट, 100% responsible, 2-3 people who are good, better than you. Also get off social media. मेरा एक्सपीरियंस मैं बता रहा हूँ, आई वाज ऑन सोशल मीडिया, इंस्टाग्राम या जो भी आपका सोशल मीडिया होता है, इट वाज, आई थिंक दैट वाज द ओनली रीजन दैट आई वाज नॉट कंसिस्टेंट. सो इफ यू आर ऑन इंस्टाग्राम और आप बहुत टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो watching those reels, it's ruining your motivation, it's literally spoiling your career, but you don't understand that. So पहली बात तो यार वो निकाल दो, ठीक है. Stop doing anything that is giving you instant gratification, like social media, yeah, intoxicants, I don't know, porn or masturbation. That's also a major issue, and that should be addressed. ये सब तुमको ले डूबेगा, right. And मैंने खुद देखा, I have seen people जिनका life has been ruined because of it. Not ruined exactly, but they could have achieved much more if they had not got into all of this. And your mind space is very precious, right. Fill your mind space with the information that is related to your career, related to your growth. आप कचरा दिमाग में डालोगे ना, आप कचरा ही सोचोगे, right. For example, if let's say if some of you gym कोई जाता होगा, if you're watching a lot of gym videos, so automatically you're consistent with the gym, right. ये observe किया रहेगा. So same way, just fill your mind with information related to CP, DSA, development, projects, placements, and just be obsessed with getting the best out there. Don't settle for anything less than 20. ठीक है, मतलब मेरे हिसाब से तो डोइश बैंक का इंटरव्यू भी इजी रहेगा इफ यू नो व्हाट टू डू, ठीक है, बहुत हार्ड है नहीं. एंड और भी आई थिंक बेसिक रूल्स कंसिस्टेंसी के लिए, एक्सरसाइज एवरी डे, जर्नल एवरी डे, प्लान योर डे इन एडवांस, कल क्या करना है, दीज आर द टास्क दैट आई वांट टू फिनिश. And exercise is very important, don't ignore that. And give a structure to your life, है ना. every day आपका एक एजेंडा होना चाहिए कि भाई ये चीज करनी है मुझे, ठीक है. डाइट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, डोंट ईट जंक फूड, इट विल ड्रेन योर एनर्जी, ठीक है. एंड सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट इज टू रीड बुक्स. बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है बुक्स रीड करना. आप नहीं रीड करोगे ना, आप सोच ही नहीं पाओगे कि यार दुनिया में बहुत कुछ चीजें जो आपको पता ही नहीं है, राइट. सो बुक्स पढ़ो, इट विल कीप यू इन अ गुड हेड स्पेस. तो मेरा कुछ रिकमेंडेशन है कि ये सेशन के बाद 1 week डोंट डू एनीथिंग, just finish 1 or 2 books. Okay, that will help you get into a good mind space and help you realize things about life. My recommendations are Deep Work, Atomic Habits, Compound Effect, and बहुत सबसे मेरी favorite book is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So यार ये 3-4 books पढ़ लो, इसके बाद ना ऐसे ब्रह्म ज्ञान हो जाएगा. That's what I call it. So projects बना लो and keep an eye on LinkedIn. कौन सा क्या updates आ रहे हैं, किधर hackathon है, किधर मैं participate कर सकता हूँ. Pratik, while you were going all in on CP, did you manage on dev side? No, मैंने development कभी ज़्यादा किया है नहीं. मैंने basic projects बनाए हैं and I think that was more than enough for me because you need to understand companies don't expect you to उनको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता आपके projects है क्या. Like obviously अगर आप बहुत ही कुछ अच्छा बना रहे हो तो obviously it will shine on your resume, but उसके लिए आपको development में पूरा घुसना पड़ेगा and then your CP side might suffer या फिर DSA side might suffer. And अगर आप बहुत डेवलपमेंट में चले भी जाते हो ना तो आई डोंट नो उतना शायद सीपी में आपको इंटरेस्ट आए ही नहीं, राइट? बिकॉज डेवलपमेंट मेरे हिसाब से इतना यू डोंट यूज इतना ब्रेन इन डेवलपमेंट, तो आपका फोकस इज बहुत स्कैटर्ड होता है. ये टैब खोल रहे हो, वो टैब खोल रहे हो, एंड जब आप सीपी करते हो व्हेन यू हैव टू बी फुल्ली फोकस्ड ऑन वन प्रॉब्लम, so it becomes a bit hard, right? So development थोड़ा बहुत कर लो, प्रोजेक्ट्स बना लो, बेसिक आना चाहिए यार, फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड कनेक्ट करना, कौन सा डेटाबेस का भी यूज करना चाहिए, ठीक है. यू नीड वो आई थिंक 2 months करो अच्छे से, more than enough है. I am into web dev and I have not started CP yet, and JPMC is coming in 2 weeks. Now what can I do? JPMC यार मेरे हिसाब से पूरे 2 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं करना, ठीक है, 1.5 ही करना, उससे भी हो जाएगा. एंड JPMC के क्वेश्चंस लीड कोड पे होते हैं तो फुल कॉपी करना. दैट वुड बी माय एडवाइस. 2 weeks में यार लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट कुछ नहीं होने वाला. नाउ व्हाट कैन आई डू? मेक अ प्लान, ठीक है, सीपी कैसे करना है, कैसे स्ट्रक्चर करना है, बिकॉज अभी तो बहुत अर्ली है यार. मैंने एग्जांपल देता हूँ एक बंदे का, लाइक 3 months में वो इतना प्रोग्रेस कर दिया ना कि गूगल जितना उसका लेवल हो गया. सो हार नहीं मानना चाहिए, ठीक है. तो बेसिकली प्लान बना एंड देन JPMC का देख ले. हुआ तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं हुआ तो भी इतना डरने का नहीं, बहुत है आगे, बहुत चांसेस. Like you said, you secured Barclays. So in how much duration do we need to accept their offer, since we are also applying to other companies? So accept, you have to accept it immediately. It's not like you cannot drop. ठीक है, आप ऑफर्स ड्रॉप कर सकते हो. सो उसका टेंशन मत लो कि आपके पास ऑफर है तो मैं उनको नहीं कैसे बोलूं. लाइक पीपल लिटरली हैव 10-20 ऑफर्स एंड सबको मना कर देते हो एंड में जाके. तो इट्स उसका टेंशन मत लो कि ऑफर्स ड्रॉप करना पड़ेगा, एक्सेप्ट कैसे करो. सो जस्ट एक्सेप्ट इट, like on the day only when you get results announced होता है तभी I think you have to accept. सिर्फ सीपी किया या डेवलपमेंट पे भी फोकस किया. I think I've answered this. कोड शेफ और लीड कोड, कोड फोर्सेस, ठीक है. लीड कोड मैंने तो यार वहां से स्टार्ट नहीं किया था. आई थिंक लीड कोड के साथ जो जूनियर्स के साथ मैं देखता हूँ ना, जो मुझे डाउट पूछते हैं, आई थिंक वो रट रहे हैं लीड कोड के क्वेश्चंस कि वो इसको ऐसे करना है, एंड देन लेट्स से दे सी अ सिमिलर क्वेश्चन, दे ट्राई टू अप्लाई सेम लॉजिक इन दैट क्वेश्चन, जबकि वो क्वेश्चन माइट बी कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. वो डेप्थ में नहीं सोच रहे हैं, वो बस दे आर ट्राइंग टू समहाउ अप्लाई दैट सेम कांसेप्ट दैट दे हैव लर्नड इन सम अदर क्वेश्चन, ठीक है. एंड वो ट्रैप है, वो मत करना. यू शुड, आई थिंक अगर आपको सीपी डेवलपमेंट को सीपी डीएसए को स्टार्ट भी किया है ना, बेस्ट मैं बोलूंगा सॉल्व 200 क्वेश्चंस ऑन कोड फोर्सेस, ठीक है. उससे आपका ना क्या बोलते हैं, बेसिक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग या थिंकिंग एबिलिटी या फिर हाउ टू थिंक इन डेप्थ, हाउ टू अप्रोच अ क्वेश्चन, वो क्लियर हो जाएगा. एंड देन लीड कोड पे आप जस्ट ब्रीज थ्रू इट, मतलब बहुत इजी लगेगा लीड कोड. देन मीडियम तो ऐसे ही उड़ा लोगे आप, एंड दैट्स मोर देन इनफ टू क्लियर एनी कंपनी का इंटरव्यू. मेरे हिसाब से स्टार्ट विथ 200-300 कोड फोर्सेस के क्वेश्चन, टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, लूप्स, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स, ये बेसिक्स क्लियर करो एंड देन यू कैन मूव टू लीड कोड. लीड कोड या इंटरव्यू बिट भी अच्छा है. सो आई प्रिपेयर्ड ऑन इंटरव्यू बिट. बेसिकली लीड कोड ही है बट एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्मेट में, एंड देयर आर लिमिटेड सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. लीड कोड पे हजारों है ना, so there are on lead to on interview bit there are only 200-300 questions. So वो कर लो. Those are standard interview questions, standard techniques. उससे ज्यादा कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. इंटरव्यू बिट पूरा चार्ट लो बेसिकली. What if one does not have any past internship experience? Does it hamper? No. इंटर्नशिप अनलेस आपका बहुत अच्छी कंपनी में है, लाइक डोइश बैंक इज ऑल्सो गुड कंपनी, ठीक है, कोई एक रेप्यूटेड कंपनी में है तो ठीक है। अगर है, मतलब कोई भी इंटर्नशिप वैसे तो करना अच्छी बात है, बट इफ तुम पे डिपेंड करता है कि यार अच्छा लाइक अभी थर्ड ईयर में हो या फोर्थ, आई थिंक थर्ड ईयर में हो और समर आ रहा है और कुछ सीपी किया ही नहीं है, तो बेटर यही होगा कि आप पहले डीएसए वाला पार्ट सॉर्ट कर लो, बिकॉज गोल्डमैन एकदम मेरिट पे उसका ये होता है एप्लीकेशन प्रोसेस। दे डोंट लुक कि किसका कितना इंटर्नशिप्स है, उनसे उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ता। इंटरव्यूज में अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हो तो दे गिव यू द ऑफर। सेम विद Amazon, रेफरल लगाओ, यू विल गेट the online assessment link, just clear everything. Interviews में भी you know ज्यादा क्या बोलते हैं, इतना ग्रिल नहीं करते वो प्रोजेक्ट्स पे, ओनली प्योर डीएसए होता है। सो इंटर्नशिप पर इतना टेंशन मत लो, ठीक है, इतना टेंशन मत लो, और करनी है तो कोई कर लो, लाइक 15, 20, 30 days की कर लो, लाइक जहाँ पे यू आर डूइंग समथिंग, कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है। सो एक बस इंटर्नशिप रहेगा रेज्यूमे पे। एंड really good speech, thank you. Types of questions in CP, I don't understand types of questions. So there are a lot of बहुत सारे types होते हैं. So there is maths, there is data structures, there is really I think focus सब पे करो, ठीक है। if you're starting ना, हर एक चीज maths भी पढ़ लो, number theory पढ़ लो, solve questions on greedy data structures, and basically जो भी tags होते हैं ना कोड फोर्सेस पे, if you go on the problems there are a lot of tags. एक बहुत एडवांस टैग्स होते हैं, टू सैट एंड यू नो क्या बोलते हैं, गेम थियरी, वो उतना करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट आई थिंक ओवरऑल बेस्ट तो यही रहेगा कि A2J नाम का लैडर है, इफ यू नो, so there is this ladder called A2J ladder, just go there and start solving questions structured format में, level by level है, and you don't need to know anything, कुछ जरूरत नहीं है, कोई डेटा स्ट्रक्चर नहीं आना चाहिए, बस एक लैंग्वेज आनी चाहिए, you should know how to declare an array। नहीं आता तो सीख के जाओ, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता आपको कोडिंग नहीं आता। if you start now, 6 months is more than enough to get a good job. Does joining a committee really matters? Definitely not, waste of time है, मत join करना। I think it depends, like तुम्हारी पर्सनालिटी एंड ऑल डेवलप होगी, बट जब मैंने कोर्सेल ज्वाइन किया था तो मुझे तो वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम ही लगा। मतलब ठीक था, लाइक आई गॉट द चांस टू विजिट अदर कॉलेजेस फॉर पब्लिसिटी, एंड आई थिंक शगुन एंड आई वेंट टू सम कॉलेज कोई हैकाथॉन के पब्लिसिटी के लिए। तो डिपेंड करता है, if आप थोड़े इंट्रोवर्ट हो तो गिव इट अ ट्राई, एक्सट्रोवर्ट हो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता। इट डिपेंड्स, मास्टर्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मुझे नहीं पता, ठीक है, शायद करता भी हो, बट आई थिंक मास्टर्स के लिए भी अनलेस तुम कम्युनिटी के फाउंडर हो या ये हो तो शायद मैटर नहीं करता। यू शुड बी अ फाउंडर ऑफ कमिटी रादर देन अ मेंबर। आई डोंट नो, मुझे पता नहीं है इतना, तो कोई सीनियर होगा ना जिसको मास्टर्स एंड इसका सब पता है, उससे पूछो। इफ आई हैव नॉट पार्टिसिपेटेड इन एनी हैकाथॉन, या कूल, मैंने भी नहीं किया हैकाथॉन में पार्ट नहीं लिया। Number theory is important for CP, and how much? Yes, it is important. It depends. I mean, ऐसा मत सोच के चलो कि सब कुछ सीख के then करना है। Just start solving problems, take part in contest, and when you don't get some question, तो contest के बाद go and solve it. Okay, this is the concept that I didn't know. इसको मैं solve कैसे करूँ? Go and read up on Geeks for Geeks या CP algorithm से पढ़ना। Geeks for Geeks पे भी काफी buggy codes है, ठीक है। So cpalgorithms.net or some CP algorithms basically website का name है, where you can learn all the algorithms जो भी तुमको चाहिए। So go and read from there and solve करो, and when you come across a concept then learn it rather than learning everything and then solve करने का। ये मैंने भी किया था, कुछ नहीं हुआ मेरा तो। LinkedIn GitHub profiles build करना जरूरी है क्या? मुझे नहीं पता यार, मतलब मैंने तो नहीं किया है। लिंक्डइन क्या बिल्ड करना, आई मीन मैं कुछ पोस्ट नहीं करता हूँ। हाँ मतलब वो पोस्ट नहीं करते बैठना कि हाँ मोटिवेशन दे रहे हो सबको और इन्फ्लुएंसर बनना है, वो अलग चीज है। बस प्रोजेक्ट्स डाल दो, अपने इंटर्नशिप डाल दो, ताकि इफ HR लुक्स एट योर लिंक्डइन तो पता चले कि हाँ यार ही हैज डन समथिंग। तो बेसिकली हाँ, डाल दो जाके, लिंक्डइन पे एक अकाउंट होना चाहिए। गिटहब का मुझे नहीं पता यार, मैंने तो नहीं डाला था, गिटहब पे कुछ है ही नहीं। Is it okay to make most common projects like disease prediction and library management and all? पता नहीं यार, library management तो बहुत ही basic हो जाएगा, but I think add something else to it, कुछ और टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके कुछ न्यू हो तो शायद मे बी इट्स गुड, बट बेसिकली ये बना लो यार तुम, एक अच्छा ई कॉमर्स स्टोर बना लो, उसमें सर्च वगैरह भी होता है ना, सर्च फंक्शनैलिटी में यूज इलास्टिक सर्च फॉर दैट, कि हाँ मैंने ऑप्टिमाइज किया, तो बोलने को भी आता है ना, आई यूज इलास्टिक सर्च फॉर सर्चिंग, सो वो थोड़ा कूल लगता है। नहीं तो ई कॉमर्स इज वेरी बेसिक, कुछ अलग हो उसमें तो बेटर रहेगा। नहीं भी है तो कुछ होना चाहिए, ठीक है, तो नहीं समझ आ रहा है, टाइम नहीं है, बस बना लो, टेंशन मत लो, ठीक है। कॉलेज कैसे मैनेज करें मत जाओ। फिर I'm in third year and I literally only know little basics of Java and Python. So can you tell me where can I start? Java and Python ना basic ही बताया ना, तो switch to C++ पहले, ठीक है। Go and read upon C++. Give yourself 1 week to study C++. array declare करना आना चाहिए. You should know about vectors. ठीक है, बस ये दो चीज, if else statement लिखने आने चाहिए, C in C out आना चाहिए, like how to print something. बस इतना हो गया. Then go and start from A to G ladders code forces का देख के डरना नहीं है कि वो क्या क्वेश्चन है ये, मुझे तो समझ ही नहीं आ रहा, बट जस्ट गो एंड रीड एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट। बहुत हार्ड नहीं होते हैं, इजी क्वेश्चंस भी होते हैं। मेरा ये रहेगा कि सॉल्व लॉट ऑफ इजी क्वेश्चंस इनिशियली, लाइक 5-6 इजी क्वेश्चंस, सो वो आपको विल हेल्प यू बी कंसिस्टेंट। जब आप देखते हो ना कि ओके माय सॉल्यूशंस आर गेटिंग एक्सेप्टेड, तो देन आपको अच्छा लगता है, एंड देन इट हेल्प्स यू बी कंसिस्टेंट। सो स्टार्ट करो विद इजी क्वेश्चंस 10 डेज के लिए, बस इजी क्वेश्चंस करो, एक बार कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया ना तो देन स्टार्ट कर लो। थर्ड ईयर तक तो मुझे डेवलपमेंट भी नहीं आता था, आई थिंक बस HTML CSS आता था, सो टेंशन मत लो इतना। हाउ टू गेट टाइम?
Pratik,
या
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Actually, we can call other speakers as well, and we can do the Q&A session here only.
श्योर।
I would request Anushka, Saili to join them. And I would request all the participants to send in their question in chat to Kevin or raise their hands, and we'll call you one by one for your questions.
There are quite a few questions that are unanswered and direct messages में, I'll just read a question and then we all can
Yeah.
उसपे thoughts कर सकते हैं।
Yes.
How, yeah, can you put names of book in chat box? I will बाद में करता हूँ। Attendance recorded है, ठीक है, है, कैसे एक्सेप्ट करें और कैसे आगे बढ़े?
कोई मत बंद कर दो देखना।
या नहीं बन, आई थिंक एक ये रख लो कि यार कि हाँ लाइक हायरिंग चालू है, एंड जस्ट नोट डाउन द डेट्स कि ओके गोल्डमैन इज हायरिंग है, ये डेट्स पे हायर कर रहा है, तो एक आइडिया लगता है कि ओके ये कंपनी विल कम इन दिस टाइम। तो मैंने तो आई थिंक लिस्ट बनाया था कि व्हाट इज द, ये कंपनी कब आती है एंड दिस कंपनी ये कब हायर करती है, जस्ट बेस्ड ऑन लिंक्डइन पोस्ट। सो डिप्रेसिंग तो लगता है, बट यू शुडंट कंपेयर किसी का 2-3 साल का एफर्ट विद योर कुछ मंथ का एफर्ट, इट्स डिफरेंट। सो बस इट बॉइल्स डाउन टू खुद पे फेथ होना चाहिए कि हाँ आई कैन डू इट, एंड देन हो जाएगा। कैन यू एक्सप्लेन लाइक व्हाई 1.5 क्वेश्चंस इन JPMC? ये मेरे साथ हुआ था, आई डोंट नो इफ सबके साथ हुआ था, जिसके भी या देयर इज नो लॉजिक। सो आई थिंक 2 क्वेश्चंस जिन्होंने भी पूरे किए थे ना उनको आई डोंट नो दे रिजेक्टेड, एंड जिन्होंने जस्ट 1 या 1.5 या लाइक 1 full question and 1 question partially, only they got through. I don't know why, but that's the logic. I think मैं मेरे एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से बोल रहा हूँ कि just to be on the safer side, solve 1.5 questions, हो जाएगा, ठीक है। बट रिजेक्ट होते तो मुझे आके गाली नहीं देना कि तूने भूला है, तो वो देख लो। व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट डूइंग मास्टर्स? आई थिंक मैं तो नहीं करने वाला हूँ। आई थिंक ये मेरा बिलीफ है कि जो जॉब मास्टर्स करने के बाद मिलेगा यू कैन गेट इट नाउ ओनली, तो देयर इज नो पॉइंट इन डूइंग मास्टर्स फॉर 2 years एंड स्पेंडिंग क्रोर्स। बट उसके लिए आपको बेस्ट भी उतना बनना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, कि आपको कंपनी इंडिया से लेके जाए एंड वहाँ पे आपको वीजा दे एंड आपका स्पॉन्सर करे। सो वो मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है। सो मास्टर्स मैं तो नहीं कर रहा। इफ अनुष्का एंड साइड वुड लाइक टू आंसर ऑन दिस।
I think it is on a person how they want to pursue it. Some people don't do it for the job. Some people do it to maybe किसी का कोई job है ही नहीं in the future. They just want to do job for 5-10 years and then build a network and have their own startup or something. So for them, I think masters is useful क्योंकि network build हो जाएगा एक, और masters के बाद एक और degree add हो जाएगी firstly, so people will recognize you more. You have more network. फिर एक और जॉब करोगे तो और नेटवर्क बिल्ड होगा। सो आई थिंक इन दैट केस आई थिंक मास्टर्स इज इम्पोर्टेंट।
Agree. Yeah, and college life भी, like 2 years का fun भी रहेगा. So that's also basically तुमको पता होना चाहिए कि तुमको क्या चाहिए, है ना? It all सबका खुद का opinion है, right? Saili, do you want to answer something on this?
In my opinion, I'm confused. So depending, understanding what exactly, and then I will decide.
Okay, got it. Bro, I'm in second year EXTC. How should I start coding? वही यार, सीख लो, एक हफ्ता लैंग्वेज सीख लो, then A to O चालू करो, right? And this is recorded, तो जाके देख सकते हो कि मैंने क्या बोला. Can you please share your number? You can reach out to me on Instagram, ठीक है? वहाँ पे मैं active हूँ काफी.
सोशल मीडिया नहीं छोड़ा?
नहीं, अभी नहीं. I'm very bad at consistency and all. तो हाँ, ये भी एक point है कि खुद पे कंट्रोल होना चाहिए. मेरे मुझ में है नहीं अभी. मैं बात कर रहा हूँ क्या परफेक्ट इंसान होगा. मैं भी मैं भी बहुत स्ट्रगल करता हूँ ये सब चीजों में. ऑब्वियसली अभी मैं सिंस आई हैव गॉट कोऑर्डिनेशन मैं कंप्लेसेंट हो गया हूँ क्या करना है क्या नहीं. एंड सो अभी आई एम ट्राइंग टू गेट बैक ऑन ट्रैक एंड ट्राइंग टू गेट बैक टू सीपी. आई थिंक a few juniors are performing better than me in some contests, and मेरे तो क्वेश्चंस आई थिंक देख के से मतलब मुझे करने का मन ही नहीं करता है. इट्स वेरी पता नहीं. तो देन बट उसके लिए आई थिंक आई हैव टू डू सम डोपामाइन डिटॉक्स और समथिंग. सो अभी के लिए रीच आउट टू मी ऑन इंस्टाग्राम एंड देन नंबर विद देम. Are you serious about not passing all test cases in JPMC online assessment? Serious, ये मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है. हमारे साथ ये हुआ था.
I
मेरे
got
साथ
through, so I think
हाँ
I can answer this. I got selected in JPMC. I got the
yeah
offer. So I think the procedure is firstly, it is true that mostly girls qualify होती है JPMC. Nobody can deny it. Or only the best coders out of the guys will get through, but mostly they take girls. I don't know what is this case, but in JPMC it is true. तो ऐसे नहीं है कि सिर्फ दो वालों को रिजेक्ट कर ही दिया. आई थिंक दो लोग ऐसे थे जिनका दोनों हुए थे, दे गॉट थ्रू. मेरा तो सिर्फ एक ही हुआ था और मेरे को तो बिल्कुल होप ही नहीं था कि मेरा होगा, जबकि स्टार्ट से आई वाज एमिंग ओनली फॉर जेपी. तो फिर भी बहुत ऐसे डिसहार्टनिंग था, बट स्टिल गॉट थ्रू. आई थिंक बिकॉज ऑफ माय मैनिफेस्टेशन और थिंग्स लाइक दैट. तो
yeah
आई थिंक इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू. डोंट कोट अस ऑन दिस, बट इट इज ट्रू कि गर्ल्स को ज़्यादा लेते हैं.
yeah अगेन आई थिंक ये जो अनुष्का का पॉइंट है ना मैनिफेस्टेशन एंड ऑल, ये जो माइंडसेट अगर बिल्ड करना है ना, आई थिंक अगर तुम बिल्कुल ही अल्लड़ इंसान हो ना, नेटफ्लिक्स वगैरह देख रहे हो तो बुक्स पढ़ो. ये 1 वीक इसके बाद ना बस बुक्स पढ़ना और कुछ भी नहीं करना. एंड देन यू कैन प्लान आउट कि हाँ क्या करना है. थोड़ा सीरियस हो जाओगे लाइफ के बारे में ऑटोमेटिकली. इसके बाद क्या है, आई थिंक यू मिस्ड फ्रॉम वेयर टू लर्न डीएसए. सीखना है डीएसए. सो मेरा ओपिनियन है कि व्हेन यू स्टार्ट, इफ यू नो नथिंग, start from code forces and you'll come across different concepts and वहाँ से सीखते रहो. And जब placements पास में let's 3 months 4 months है, तभी focus on तभी switch to interview bit completely. ठीक है, वहाँ जाके practice interview questions कि क्या होता है, कुछ techniques होंगे that you don't know. Learn operating systems, computer networks, database management system, object oriented programming. These are the 4 important subjects. सो वो 4 months पहले प्लेसमेंट के. अभी बस मेरे हिसाब से आई थिंक यू कैन डू कोड फोर्सेस अभी के लिए. दैट विल हेल्प यू बिल्ड लॉजिक एंड इट विल बी बेटर कंपेयर्ड टू जस्ट कंप्लीटली डूइंग फॉलोइंग सम इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन. मतलब वहाँ पे मे बी आपको उतना इन डेप्थ थिंकिंग आपकी डेवलप ना हो जैसे सीटी में होता है ना, बिकॉज सीटी का क्वेश्चन पढ़ के आपको पता ही नहीं लगता कि क्या करना. सो यू हैव टू बिल्ड द सॉल्यूशन brick by brick and that teaches you a lot of things. So in my opinion, start from code courses and then you can switch to interview bit 4 months of the course. Thank you for your useful insights. How to get good at CP. वही जो मैंने बोला. हाँ, so CP के लिए क्या करना? If you're at rating X, solve X plus 200 rating problems. Daily 3-4 questions. Consistency होना चाहिए even if you're solving one question. मेरा केस ऐसा था, जब मैं कंसिस्टेंट रहता था ना तो आई यूज्ड टू परफॉर्म रियली गुड इन सम कॉन्टेस्ट. जब कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं होता था ना तो ऐसा लगता था कि आई एम स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम जीरो. तो मेरा गिर जाता था रेटिंग एंड ऐसा लगता था कि मेरे से कुछ होने ही नहीं वाला. सो कंसिस्टेंसी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सेकंड, सॉल्व हार्ड क्वेश्चंस, गेट आउट ऑफ द कंफर्ट जोन एंड यू शुड ब्लॉक 3-4 hours ऑफ वो टाइम कि हाँ ये 3 hours आई हैव टू डू सीपी ओनली एंड कोई डिस्टर्ब नहीं करेगा मुझे एंड मैं बस मैं और मेरा लैपटॉप. दैट शुड बी द केस. सो आई थिंक उससे ना आपका कंसिस्टेंसी प्लस हार्ड क्वेश्चंस ऑटोमेटिकली विल सी इम्प्रूवमेंट. how to get notified about ICPG registration. Code, I think उसके लिए you can keep an eye on Code Forces blogs. वहाँ पे people write blogs about अच्छा registrations are opening, and I think LinkedIn पे भी पता चल जाता है. So if you are in CP community, you'll get to know कि क्या करना है. कहाँ मतलब get to know कि कब चालू होंगे registrations. As much as I hate to interrupt, okay. Can you repeat book recommendation? I'll get मैं type कर दूंगा chat में बाद में. Code Chef or Code Forces for CP. Code Forces A2 मुझे large specifically. I'm better in Java. Can I continue with Java for CP? Yes, you can. Super speech. Amazing.
For the Java and C++ thing, I think I started with C++. फिर उसके बाद मैंने Java में shift किया, and I do code in Java only अभी since I think 1.5 years, because somebody, I think a lot of seniors and lots of YouTube channels forced me to believe के ये placements के लिए Java ज़्यादा better है. I think that they are saying because you have to understand OOPS better.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
other reason. If you can learn otherwise and do C++, then fine.
Yeah. So मेरा ऐसा था कि Goldman में they asked me a few questions on OOPS related to Java, right? तो मैं ऐसा था C++ में I knew concept same ही है दोनों languages में, but Java में there is थोड़ा different. तो ऐसा मतलब बहुत deal breaker नहीं है कि okay Java ही करना है और this. And but it's good to have knowledge about Java. Java के questions होते हैं. So I'll send a few PDFs जहाँ पे जो इंटरव्यू में क्वेश्चंस पूछते हैं ना related to OS, DBMS and all this, उसके बाहर से कुछ नहीं पूछेंगे, ठीक है? मैं वो PDFs भेज दूंगा. I'll forward it.
प्रदीप, अनुष्का एक क्वेश्चन है. So like 11-12 में जैसे कंप्यूटर साइंस बाइफोकल सब्जेक्ट था, तो तब C++ किया था, एंड लाइक कॉलेज में आने के बाद थोड़ा जावा किया, बट लाइक लॉकडाउन में काफी वेस्ट हुआ टाइम एंड प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन बहुत हुआ. सो लाइक अभी कुणाल खुशवा की वीडियो देख के थोड़ा जावा स्टार्ट किया था, बट वो भी पूरा नहीं हो पाया. सो लाइक स्विच करूं या क्या करूं, क्योंकि लाइक फाइनली एक लैंग्वेज सेलेक्ट करनी है.
उतना पूरा नहीं हुआ ना, मेरे हिसाब से C++ पे कर सकता है, क्योंकि DSA एंड CP के जो भी सॉल्यूशंस होते हैं ना, इट्स इन C++ मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. तो बेटर रहेगा कि C++ करना चाहिए. एंड डोंट ये जो ट्रैप है, ट्यूटोरियल हेल बोलते हैं ना इसको, ट्यूटोरियल ही देखते रह रहे हो, कुछ कर नहीं रहे हो. आई थिंक जस्ट गो, प्रेफर यही करूंगा कि रीड करके क्या कैसे करना है, क्या करना है. 1-2 दिन में ही तुझे पता लग जाएगा कि अरे डिक्लेयर कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, एंड देन सॉल्व वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चंस ऑन कोड फोर्सेस. एंड कुछ नहीं आ रहा है कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करना है, यू कैन जस्ट गूगल, और वो तुझे बहुत सारी चीजें सीखने मिल जाएंगी. एंड यू कैन सी अदर कोडर्स का कोड भी देख सकते हो, उन्होंने कैसे इंप्लीमेंट किया, ओके ये क्या फंक्शन है, एंड यू गेट टू लर्न अलॉन्ग, है ना. इंप्लीमेंटेशन भी अच्छा होता है. एंड ऑल्सो आई फॉरगॉट टू मेंशन कि व्हेन यू सॉल्व अ क्वेश्चन, उसके बाद जाके ना दूसरों का भी कोड चेक करना चाहिए कि हाउ टू सॉल्व इट. ऐसा हो सकता है कि यू हैव सॉल्व्ड इट इन log n and they might have come up with a better approach. वो ऑफ एन में ही कर दिया हम लोगों ने, राइट. सो हमेशा दूसरों के कोड्स देखा करो, ठीक है. स्टार्ट प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग along with it or after completing it. A few topics in DSA, I mean, you have learned a few topics. I think straight away jump to problem solving and learn as you solve problems. That's the best way. System of referral, just go and make connections on LinkedIn. List बनाओ companies का, the dream companies, ठीक है, and then find them on LinkedIn, send them connection requests अभी से ही, ठीक है. जाके random message भी करो उनको, देखो. और एक ऐसे लोग ढूंढना जो जिनके ज्यादा फॉलोअर्स नहीं है, वो ज्यादा प्रोबेबिलिटी कि दिल रिप्लाई, राइट. सो वो कनेक्शंस बनाओ, एंड देन ऐसे ही जाके ना रैंडमली जस्ट स्टार्ट मेकिंग कनेक्ट. हाँ ये कंपनी में ये बंदा काम कर रहा है, तो उसको एक टेक्स्ट कर दो, जस्ट इनिशिएट द कन्वर्सेशन. एंड इंट्यूट है, डायरेक्ट है, बहुत सारी कंपनीज है, हर एक कंपनी के 10-15 कनेक्शंस बना के रखो, तो जब टाइम आएगा व्हेन यू गेट द अपॉर्चुनिटी, तो देन दे कैन रेफर यू. सो कुछ नहीं होता रेफरल का सिस्टम, जस्ट मैसेज देम क्योंकि दिस इज माय, ये मैं करता हूँ, आई एम गुड एट दिस, ये मेरा CP रेटिंग है, कैन यू प्लीज रेफर मी. एंड मोस्टली येस बोलते बिकॉज दे गेट मनी इफ यू गेट सिलेक्टेड, उनको पैसा मिलता है इफ यू गेट सिलेक्टेड, राइट. तो वो तो ऑब्वियसली कर देंगे रेफर, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं.
I mean, for me, I think what I've observed, I think it's highly also might add to this, कि सबसे पहले LinkedIn पे ना, when you go, you have to make a profile. जब you were answering the LinkedIn profile वाला answer ना, तो I thought I'll pitch this in between the last segment, कि जब भी मैंने स्टार्ट किया था ना लॉकडाउन के स्टार्ट में, तो मैंने जितना भी चीजें किया था आई यूज्ड टू ऐड एंड लुक एट अदर पीपल्स प्रोफाइल कि ये लोग ने क्या क्या किया है और कैसे प्रेजेंट किया है. तो द वे यू प्रेजेंट योरसेल्फ ऑन लिंक्डइन इज यू आर मेकिंग अ ब्रांड आउट ऑफ योरसेल्फ. तो इन्फ्लुएंसर बनना है नहीं, आई थिंक दैट इज सेकेंडरी, बट दिस हेल्प्स यू in getting more accepted requests. जैसे अगर गूगल के किसी को रिक्वेस्ट भेजो, तो अगर उन्होंने तुम्हारा प्रोफाइल देखा या तुमने जो नोट लिखा उनके लिए, उनके कोई पोस्ट देख के या यूट्यूब वीडियो देख के, जो भी उनको हाईलाइट करो नोट में कि हे whatever their name is, personalize it कि I saw this video, I felt really inspired, even I want to become like you, or something. Just frame something very standard and send it. तो जितने ज़्यादा लोगों को भेजोगे, if you have a good profile, तो ज़्यादा लोग accept करेंगे. और try to maintain a relationship कि अगर वो कुछ पोस्ट करे लिंक्डइन पे तो लाइक इट, और इफ यू डिड समथिंग तो टेल देम कि हे बिकॉज ऑफ योर हेल्प और योर गाइडेंस आई वाज एबल टू डू दिस. सो दैट हेल्प्स यू इन बिल्डिंग द रिलेशन. तो अगर तभी वो कंपनी का कोई रोल ओपन नहीं हुआ है, तो तभी भी अगर तुम यू आर मेकिंग दिस रिलेशन, इट विल हेल्प यू व्हेन द रोल ओपन्स. सो दे गिव यू अ प्रेफरेंस व्हाइल गिविंग अ रेफरल. So I think Saini will add to this.
Yeah, moreover, I will say even adding up projects and everything will definitely leverage your profile, because what happens is whenever you are adding a particular project, or maybe you are specifying that you're working as an intern or maybe SD intern at so and so company, recruiters might call you directly for for certain things. For example, what happened is like me, Janvi, and Anushka got a call like from Google for the interviews. So now that was because we posted about the Myntra, whatever Myntra, about the Myntra internship, then that we were working over here and everything. So all such things will definitely add up, and yeah, that will be quite beneficial. So I will definitely suggest LinkedIn पे ज़्यादा time मत waste करो, but whenever you are doing something great, make a point to add.
Yeah, agreed. वो तो है, like when people look at your profile, तुमको लगना चाहिए ना, हाँ यार ढंग का बंदा है, मैं एक्सेप्ट क्यों करूँ, राइट? अगर आप देखोगे ना, लाइक मुझे ऐसा लगता है जब मुझे रिक्वेस्ट आता है ना, लोग लिखते हैं स्टूडेंट एट सम कॉलेज या ML एंथुसियास्ट या कुछ होता ही नहीं है बायो में डालने को, राइट? तो मैं मतलब वो रैंडम प्रोफाइल है, मतलब नहीं चाहिए मुझे कनेक्शंस, बिकॉज अगर वो कोई पोस्ट लाइक करेगा तो देन उसका बेकार पोस्ट मुझे फीड में दिखेगा, तो आई डोंट वांट दैट क्लटर इन माय फीड, मैं एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता हूँ. बट इफ सम गुड कोडर्स अप्रोचिंग मी, ओके 5 स्टार एट कोडशेफ या फिर इंटर्न एट गूगल, सो ऑब्वियसली आई एक्सेप्ट इट, राइट? अगर अचीवमेंट है ना बायो में लिख दो तो दिखता है सबको, है ना, और लोग रिक्वेस्ट भी भेजते हैं सामने से. Yeah. So let's move to next question. I know C hash at intermediate level or higher level. Should I switch to C++? C hash यार कोई इतना यूज तो नहीं करता है. कर लो switch C++ में, बहुत टाइम नहीं लगेगा. लैंग्वेज का टेंशन ही नहीं है. Like 1 week, 2-3 days भी इनफ है if you know basics. कोई लैंग्वेज अच्छे से आती है ना, कोई भी, या फिर नहीं भी आती है ना, बहुत इनफ है. 2-3-4 days में सीखना, इसका इतना टेंशन नहीं है. What is good between Java and C++? Again, doesn't matter. Feedback form. I have done a few topics of DSA. I don't know about anything about CP. Is it different from DSA, or would I switch to CP now from DSA? I mean, it's kind of different. DSA, I think, मेरी experience with questions are pretty straightforward. Like, ये technique and you have to use this. Sometimes it's a bit tricky, but CP is completely, thinking from scratch. So even if you're doing DSA, do थोड़ा CP also, like try giving contest. अगर तेरे पास बहुत time है ना placement का, तो code forces को भी try कर सकता है. Because जो भी तू DSA अभी कर रहा है ना, उस दिमाग में रहने नहीं वाला, to be very honest. जब तक वो depth नहीं आएगा thinking में, तो better यही रहेगा कि solve a few questions on code forces, develop that depth, and then switch back to interview bit. तो अभी बहुत clearly समझेगा कि वो ये है technique. समझ ऐसे रटना नहीं पड़ेगा, वो एकदम इंट्यूटिवली आएगा. डीपी ना लोग रटते हो, m क्रॉस n का टेबल बनाएंगे एंड देन इधर जीरोस भरेंगे, इधर 1 भरेंगे, वो बकवास है, वो मत करो. इंट्यूटिवली आना चाहिए. Solve DP using recursion and iterative both if you're doing DP. What if you don't want the technical jobs? When that case is CP required? I mean, it depends. Technical job नहीं चाहिए, I don't think CP required होगा. But ऐसे ही ट्राई कर लो, मजा भी आता है CP सॉल्व करने में. जैसे मैंने बोला, मेरी लाइफ में तो इम्पैक्ट आया कि I can solve any problem. या FE में KT मैटर करता है, ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट्स में बिल्कुल नहीं है, बिल्कुल मैटर नहीं करता. कुछ भी 10 KTV
लाइव
तो भी
नहीं होना
चलेगा।
चाहिए।
या लाइव नहीं होना चाहिए, है ना। एंड सीपी के लिए मैथ स्ट्रॉन्ग होना चाहिए ना? नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। मेरे को मैथ में केटी था, क्या ही बोलूँ। पाइथन भी चलेगा ना? हाँ चलेगा। कैन आई डू सीपी विदाउट पाइथन? यस यू कैन। थैंक यू, यू आर वेलकम। In code forces, I'm able to solve very easily, but I struggle with B sometimes. I reach solution, but most of the time not. Practice करो यार, और कुछ है नहीं. Solve a hard questions, time दो, 1 hour for one question. Depth लाओ thinking में. Phone वोन दूर रख देना 3 hours के लिए, and just try to fight the problem. मजा लेना चाहिए problem fight करने का. तभी I think you will develop क्या बोलते हैं, depth आएगा. What happens in the internship? What work we have to do there after getting selected? I mean, it depends. हर एक internship अलग होता है, right? Like for example, Sahil and Anushka built some tool, if I'm not wrong. है ना? हर एक internship अलग अलग होता है. कुछ नहीं होता है, basically जाके development करना होता है, ठीक है? और कुछ नहीं होता उसमें, कुछ क्या ही बोलूँ.
Basically, in the companies that we interned at, Myntra, or I'm even interning now at a product-based company, बताऊंगी तो पता नहीं, controversy. So let's not say. So here, what they do is they give us some proof of concept which we have to make. That is like a prototype which they are going to actually use it in future for their some or the other project. तो हमको कोई भी random teams allot कर देते हैं और हमको टेक स्टैक कुछ भी चूज करने का चांस नहीं मिलता है. दे टेल यू कि ये टेक स्टैक यूज करना है, ये इंडिविजुअल है या ग्रुप है, and these are your deadlines. If you need help, you have a mentor, a buddy, and a manager. So these 3 are the roles. Buddy is going to help you with everything that you need. फिर उसके बाद mentor is going to help you with your technical stuff, and manager is going to tell you कि अरे तुम सही नहीं कर रहे हो, do this better, or you have to speed up or something like that. So that is how you manage your internship. मेरे को TypeScript में करना था काम. I had to make a gamification platform, which I had no idea what is TypeScript. So I learned from scratch, and मतलब they are helpful. If you need help, you can ask. But most importantly, accept it कि नहीं आता है. That is for everything. CP, DSA, placements के पहले accept करो कि नहीं आता है, फिर help मांगो, फिर मिलेगा help तो मिलेगा, फिर होगा.
Yeah. So let's move on to next question. I know a decent amount of Python, a basic understanding of Java, but no C++. What language do you think I should use for CP? I mean, switching is easy. As I said, 1 week से ज़्यादा नहीं लगेगा. So language पे इतना stress मत लो. If you can, C++ best है. और CP, ठीक है. Java में भी कर सकते हो, but दिक्कत मतलब solutions नहीं होते Java में. So थोड़ा मुझे तो लगता है कि यार C++ prefer मैं करता हूँ. इससे मैं थोड़ा biased. Can I do CP with Python? Yes, you can. I mean, second year I'm considering focus on Python. What's your point regarding this? If you don't know anything and if you are learning a language to do CP, DSA, so I think C++ prefer करो. वो better रहेगा. Python if focus करो तो project बनाने के लिए तो भी सही है. But I think एक ऐसा language होना चाहिए which you know basics सब आना चाहिए, इसके data structures and build data structures and everything. तो एक main language होना चाहिए to solve questions the interview. So हाँ, resources function and all.
That
तो वो
is
जाके देख लो.
driver ना.
Yeah, Striver. So वहाँ से कर लो, ठीक है. Geek for Geeks पे बहुत articles हैं. Can I do CP with Python? Yes, you can do it. Yeah, I think questions हो गए हैं. I'll type the names of the. अच्छा, I've been doing for a few months. I'm able to solve it to A, B sometimes. When should I learn DP? You should learn DP when you're comfortable with ABC. ठीक है. You are able to solve ABC in contests and side by side. तुमको पता चल जाएगा when you are able to solve 1500 rated questions ना. Then you can start basics of DP. Start with those classic set of problems, edit distance, क्या बोलते हैं, factorial, knapsack, all those basic problems. So हाँ, for DP again there is one resource, AdCoder का educational contest है DP का, है ना. वहाँ जाके there are 26 DP questions and it has 26 different concepts of DP. So वहाँ से practice करो, मतलब वहाँ से देख लेना. ऐसा नहीं हो 26 एक साथ जाके नहीं करना, कुछ नहीं होगा. पहले 2-3 कर लो, हाँ, and then learn a few more concepts and then again do. There is a website called CSCS also. वहाँ पे भी you can practice DP का section. CSE is also a good website to learn two pointers, binary search, dynamic programming, basically various data structures. So वहाँ से भी कर सकते हो. DP के लिए वही basically start with classical set of problems and understand what's happening exactly. That should be enough. I am able to. अच्छा हो गया I think questions about.
So if all the questions are over, I would like to call upon Miss Monica Ji Tolani ma'am for she is the training placement officer of our college. I would like to call her upon the stage and hear a few words from her.
Thank you, Rishan. Sorry, I cannot on the camera in Lonavala. So the background is not that appropriate for me to on the camera right away. And you all know the reason for me being there. Very fucked up with my exams. So it was too much on my head. And many of you who have my contact might have observed in my status since yesterday. So no more comments on that. So good evening, one and all, being here. First of all, I'd like to thank the CSI committee for organizing such an event on a very short notice. And the speakers who were there, who were ready for that matter, for saying, yes, ma'am, we'll definitely will brief our juniors as well as their colleagues which are there in the current fourth year about the off-campus placement. Starting with Aryan, Pratik, Anushka, Janvi, Saili, Kashita, and Shagun. I don't know who all were there. When I joined in the start, Anushka I saw, Saili I saw, Aryan was speaking, and Pratik was there. I didn't know whether Shagun, Kashita, and Janvi could make it to the. I'm really not aware about it, but I'll sincerely thank them for briefing our students. The way I have already said, my juniors, students which are there in the current third year, with this batch, I have no connect with them, but yes, the attitude was very good with them, and we could see that result in our placements. Having said that, the current third year, I have very good contact with them, but attitude has always been led back for them. That's the reason I have been continuously behind, especially IT students can make it concentrate. And that was a very good time. I could make it out that these people can at least brief you now what is required for an off-campus placement, and for that matter, on-campus with study subjects. Because the way I tell you, the current batch decides the next batch company. Now, the way Myntra came in, Myntra decided for the next batch upcoming. Amazon, Shagun got placed, Amazon came on campus, and Amazon has approached us for 2 months internship as well. So quite possible that we might get a 2 months internship call for this academic year as well. So this is what already we are in talks with the HR of Amazon. All the details have been submitted from the college side. I'm expecting that this will also open up. Last year we had quite 3 or 4 UBS select. This year the number has been increased. For the UBS, we have 5 this time, and 2 of them are from IT, 3 of them are, I think 6 of them appeared. 1 of them is only rejected, rest all 5 are being selected. So slowly this batch will decide. Now, Pratik also told ma'am, Triology wants to send certain competition related information to the college. So what happens when they start working, they also know, yes, the crowd is available with Thadomal. And I sincerely thank them because they are the ones who are making the college proud. We are actually waiting for official letters to come in so that their company has no issues, and we can also publicize on all our social media platform. And you all are aware, so is very prompt on the social media, especially on the Twitter and papers as well, Times of India for that matter, Hindustan Times as well. So we are officially waiting for them not to come in, waiting for Aryans not to come in, so that we can officially do it up. IT students were already aware, not the other branches I am, because I teach them, so there's a different connect with them. But yes, I'll brief my third years and second years. Amazon has approached the campus for 2 months internship as well. So possibility this year it may pick up because all details, requisites which were there, we have already cleared. Amazon is already there on campus for the 2022 batch. Hoping 23 ke liye also it will again approach it up. So this is the current placement scenario which are there. We are in talk with your MSCI, that is Morgan Stanley also, but for the financial part, not with the pure coding, because there are certain terms which they have. So Morgan Stanley with the financial part which they MSFI, that also we are in talking. So if people who are there financial, but yes, with the tech in support in that, definitely. And many of you, there are students who have approached me for BNP Paribas as well, because many of them wait for a banking sector also, IT in a banking sector. So yes, BNP will come, but towards the late of the semester, not now, because BNP has historically been approaching. So there are quite a companies we are already in talk with. Definitely 22 batch has seen, I have placement database. We have more than 70 companies already done on campus, including all the branches, and majority are for IT, computers and EXTC. So already 70 plus companies have already visited campus. It's not a less number, it's a very high number. So I expect for the current upcoming batch as well, this will be continued. But yes, that depends on the attitude of my current third year students, how they are in my fourth year when it comes to placement. So again, you have time, be concentrated towards your work. Start studying. Pratik, Janvi, or Janvi is not there. I don't think, but she might be there outside. Saili is there. Anushka is there. Aryan was there. So these might have given you a very good feedback. What is expected, how they have studied, what is required, what is not required. So do take it very seriously. If you remain focused, then sky is the limit for you. So on that note, I'll leave because I'm outside. I just want to come back because tomorrow morning lecture bhi hai in sabka. And congratulations, Dishant, Kevin, Tanvi. And अभी मैंने सबको तो नहीं देखा था list में. Unnati is also there. अच्छा, Janvi is present. Janvi, Goa. गोवा में से join किया क्या Janvi? I heard you guys are going Goa. अच्छा, Janvi is present. So beach trip Goa नहीं जाएगा तो incomplete होता है ना. I also went in my B time, but I went to Manali. गोवा कुछ नहीं था. I was in Manali and अकेले पहाड़ पे चढ़ के बैठी थी. गाली मिली थी फिर घर से. Where are you? Where the hell are you? So Janvi, I can understand why you can't unmute. So no issues. This B time, I always tell in my class openly as well. Because the college phase is a very different phase. You should enjoy this chapter as well when you are there. But yes, keeping everything in limits. When you're safe enough, you're doing it up. अरे जानवी ठक्कर को तुम co-host नहीं बनाया मोइन. So when you are there, when you're going out, you're enjoying in your limit. There's no harm in going out. This is what I always say. And I said I went to Manali for my trip, and it was a 7 days long trip which we went. It was right from Chandigarh to Kullu to Manali and Shimla as well on the way. So definitely that is there. That is that part of the life I always tell you to enjoy, because that is also one of the mandatory phases. Yes, but not forgetting your higher studies or placement activity, because that is what you are actually into the college for. And Dishant sab ne bola tha, yes ma'am, Dishant will be the chairperson of CSI, and this came out to be very true. Us din class mein, ma'am, ye Moin se result declare nahi kar raha hai. Dishant is only the chairperson. But Dishant was acting as if he is not aware about it. So Dishant, kal lecture mein subah first bench. So I'll take a leave. Thank you, Moin, for always organizing and accepting my request. And I think there was one request he messaged me a few times before as well. And after, if the committee is ready for it, I'll be more than happy if committee organizes that. So I'll request Dishant and the next Pura committee to look after that particular point of time. If CSI can organize it up, it will be very great for us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pratik. Thank you, Aryan. Thank you, Anushka. Thank you, Janvi. Thank you, Saili. For that matter, Shagun, as well as Kashita, for being the part of this particular event. And especially to the ESCOM and your senior committee of the CSI. And last but not the least, all the students who have joined the session today. I'm taking the feedback from the current 2022 batch students. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So I'll take a leave. Morning, I'll.
I think she'll.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, I think.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and for giving your inputs to all the students and the participants. We are really motivated by your words, So we would like to end the session here. If there is anything else, if we have any other doubts, we would like to message you on your WhatsApp. One thing, we just want your code forces or your lead code ID so we can send it to the participants.
Okay, I'll give my code process ID. Should I message it here or should I?
Can you just send it on WhatsApp? It would be better then.
Cool, I'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.